All right, all right. Let me see. Yeah, this is my first time doing a live video, so I'm not sure if I set this up correctly. Not sure if anybody's in yet. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I see some people have joined. If you're here, if you can hear me, if you could just type in the chat. Hey, Steven, how you doing? How's it going, Steven? Yeah, so as you all join, if you all can just let me know that you're here in the chat, it'll help me out a lot. I'm learning Spanish now, but it seems there's so much stuff out there. Great point, Stephen. I'm gonna answer any questions that you all have or anything that you have in a second. I have kind of a list of things that I'd like to go over, but I definitely want to answer any questions that you have. I've been working on Spanish. Thanks for the motivation. Ed, comments like that, you guys don't even realize they really motivate me. Okay, gotcha, Steve. They really motivate me because, like I said, I'm going to touch on it in this. I have a list of things to talk about. I'm not going to be here too long, but I had no idea that I was helping so many people. ¿Qué onda, Floyd? ¿Qué onda, güey? Como los mexicanos dicen. But yeah, I'll give it a few, like maybe 30 seconds or so, and then I'll start going over some things. I know, like I said, I have a list of some things to go over, and then people that may not be able to make it to the live, they can just watch it back. So, but yeah, if you all have any comments, questions in the chat, let me know. I might as well start now, and I guess people can just come in. So, if you've seen the last video that I've uploaded, I know that I was saying that, like, the title said that it was my last video. The intention there was honestly for that to be my last video. The reason why is because I know it sounds crazy now that I have a decent amount of people following my progress and I'm helping you all out. But if you look at my first YouTube video, my intent was not to be, and this even sounds weird for me to say it, the intent was not for me to be a YouTuber. Like I genuinely just recorded myself to document my process. Saludos, aeropuerto de la Ciudad de México. Okay, me gustaría ir a México un día. Kendall, you got to let us know how you're enjoying that. But yeah, my intent was not to be a YouTuber. Like it was just to document my progress and with the language. Literally, that was it. And so, as time passed and I started, building a decent, at least for me, a decent following here on YouTube. It's been shocking to me to see that so many people are interested in what I'm doing and my progress and stuff like that. So as a result of that, I never had plans on like, all right, I'm gonna make this video, this video, this video. Not super creative. And so when I think about right now, I'm at a tough place because I don't have ideas. Like that's why I'm always in the videos asking like, what do you all need help with? What could I help you with? Because that's where all of my ideas come from things that I would have needed help with when I first started. And so without those ideas, I'm kind of stuck. Okay, like for example, I'll give you an example. Like today, I thought about going out to ask like native Spanish speakers what they're just joining. What have I missed? Nothing really, Paul. Nothing really. I've just been talking about why I titled the last video that I uploaded my last video. But like for example, and I was mentioning that I'm running out of ideas. But for example, today I went out to try to record a video asking native Spanish speakers about their experience in the United States and all that kind of stuff. And it just I don't know. My point with all of that, I'm kind of rambling here, is just I need some ideas. So in the stream now, if you all have any ideas for videos, if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see in the upcoming videos, I'm still gonna keep thinking. But just with my life, my work, and with Cookie, like I was telling them earlier, Cookie, like comments like that, it really motivates me to keep uploading videos. I was telling them the intent initially was not to be a YouTuber, but stuff like that really motivates me because I really identify with that feeling of starting, like learning Spanish and looking for somebody that you can relate to, like, trying to learn the language, and it was tough. Agrees, Stephen. Agreed. So I'm just thinking about ideas. If I was traveling all the time, I would never have a lack of ideas, but that's just not practical for my life right now. So if y'all have any questions about Spanish in particular, I'm here to help, ask them. If you have any questions about my experiences in Peru, bro, you did well. I'm Haitian and started my Spanish journey. Stephen, how long have you been learning? How long have you been learning? Because up until like 8 months, it was tough. It was tough. What do you think, Flo? What do you think about? And like I said, I appreciate these questions, guys. These help. I'm gonna sit back a little bit. If you can't hear me, just let me know. What do you think about doing some lessons, errores comunes o lo que sea? That's a good point. I always strayed away from that in the beginning because I didn't want to seem like, and I know you all have seen this. Like there are a lot of people that claim to be experts. Like they're giving Spanish lessons, but they can't. Like you, there's no video on their channel of them speaking Spanish. And so I just wanted to avoid falling in the category of those snake oil salesmen, if that if that makes any sense. So I can consider definitely doing that. The only thing I'm considering there though is that because the channel right now has such a wide audience, it's like right now there are people that, for example, when I went to Colombia, there are Colombians now that follow the channel because of that video, because of my Colombian videos. Also, there are people, in the United States that are learning Spanish. There are people that are learning English, like native Spanish speakers that are learning English through the channel, like a mix of a bunch of different things. So I'll definitely have to consider that. But that is a good idea because there's some things that I struggle with that I know I could help you out with. Let me make sure I stay here with the questions. What do you think about? I saw you and was like, wow, he can do it. Yeah, you can do it, Steven. I promise you can do it. Like I remember that feeling. Like I genuinely remembering like thinking I want to quit. Like I cannot do this. So you definitely can do it. Do some videos of chatting with randoms on Omegle. Those are always fun. David, that's a good idea. I just initially didn't want to copy anybody, but if you all would like to see that, I'll do it, get some reactions from that. I'll do that actually. I can do that this weekend. Try a new direction. Everyone is either teaching or doing lifestyle abroad. Maybe you can cover your own hobbies, games, something niche in Spanish. That's a good point, Bryce. It's a very good point. I'll definitely consider that. It's just, and if you all can help me with that too, that's just another dilemma I'm having. It's like I want to balance, serving the people that are watching. This is a wide range of people watching, so that's why I try not to do the same kind of video every time. But that's definitely a great idea. I've been learning for 8 months, but like I said, so many stuff out there, and I don't know what to do. Steven, what specifically is like challenging you right now? Because 8 months, I still was like a Spanish baby at 8 months. I'm like I could not speak in public with someone like. So give me an example of what you're struggling with. Like, what are you feeling? Because I can maybe reaffirm that what you're feeling is normal, depending on what you're feeling. Do you have a DELE certificate, Brian? Please forgive my ignorance. I know a lot of this stuff I should know, but I'm not sure what that is. I am getting a what is it called? An English as a second language endorsement to be able to work with students in public schools. But DELE, I'm not sure what that is. My Spanish is very limited. I wish it was as strong as yours. That would have enhanced my Southern Mexico trip. Tacos here are good, but LA is pretty good though. Ah, okay, yeah, yeah, Kendall, man. It's just a matter of time. Like again, I'm not in a position. I keep saying that. I guess I am now. I speak Spanish. I can have a little bit of confidence. I don't know. It's just time. It just depends. Like sometimes I read comments and I'm like, somebody's like, man, I've been studying for 9 months and I still feel like I'm lacking something. Guys, at 9 months, I literally some of the conversations that I would have on YouTube, I'd be like, oh, and not understand anything. So I wouldn't say that like it just depends on how long you've been learning. Hola, I love your channel. Thank you, real Mr. Miss M Bree 7. I appreciate that. Honestly. Seriously, I appreciate that. I'm not just saying that, like I genuinely appreciate that. Shane, I've watched most of your videos. Your level of Spanish is extremely good. Wow, I'm humbled by that, honestly. Why don't you move to another language like Portuguese, French, or Italian? That's a question that I get a lot. That's a question that I get a lot. And how can I respond to that? I definitely do one day want to learn Portuguese, but I feel like I genuinely like Spanish. Like I don't know if I'm a language learning person or just like I just happen to fall in love with the Spanish language and everything that comes with that. Also, because of me being in the United States, it's just a proximity thing. I do one day definitely want to visit Portugal, but that's the why the motivation hasn't been there for the other languages as much. Plus, I still feel like there's some things that I'm lacking in Spanish. A lot of things that I can improve with. Got an interesting Spanish podcast. Rob TV. Where's my phone? Lately, Rob, I've been listening to. It's changed a little bit. Like for example, right now I have this podcast called Easy Spanish. I don't know if you can see that. Easy Spanish. That's a YouTube channel that I watch, and they now have a podcast with that. Let me give you the other podcast that I listen to. Podcasts. How to Spanish. I'm still listening to them. I'm not like a money person, meaning like I don't like worship money, but I do like to learn about money, just be financially literate. So I listen to this one called Dinero en Español. It's like a financial advisor in Spanish. Suena para vivir. And again, I know these are just random podcasts, but I listen to these. Now it's a wide range of things. Um, vitalidad positiva. These doctors in Colombia, they have a podcast talking about some things that doctors normally tell us, but they're actually not true. So just interesting things like that for me. Kimber, what do you think about going to a place like Arequipa for 2 months intensive learn? I would be going there with only very few basic skills. Kimber, I don't know if your name is Kimberly. I'll just call you Kimber. But I think because I have a friend, right, who's a native Spanish speaker living in Peru, and I always tell her like, yeah, I think the idea of just like dropping yourself in an immersion program and all that is gonna speed up the progress. But I personally, I'm not against it per se, but I would say just do everything you can here. Like, I wouldn't wait to land in Arequipa and just say, all right, I'm in Arequipa now, I can learn. Um, I just would try to learn as much as I can at home first, and then join. But I definitely would love to do something like. I mean, at this point, I think I'm past that stage, but I would love to do something like that. Besides just the Spanish, I think that would just be a great life experience. Well, you keep this live up, definitely worldwide. I'll keep this up. Hola, señor. Primera vez que... Sí, sí, sí. La primera vez en vivo. Me gusta mucho. Me gusta esta experiencia. Es muy divertido, creo yo. Ok, ¿cómo fue su hábito de estudiar? Ah, ok, es esta. Okay, luckily I'm at my desk right here. As you all have seen, most of you probably found my channel because of the video where I mentioned how I learned Spanish from in a year. What I would literally do, and again, you got to consider my days, and you've seen my videos, hopefully. My days involve me waking up, going to the gym in the morning, going to work until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, leaving work, and then tutoring for 3 hours, eating, and then starting to study Spanish. So just maybe at like 9:30. This is starting in January of 2020. It's crazy to say we're in 2022 now, but January of 2020, I just every night spend 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much energy I had, 30 minutes to an hour, doing the exercises in this book. So again, maybe like 30 minutes in this book. And then after this, I just sit and before I go to sleep, just listen to a podcast. Again, I'm not understanding anything at this point. I have my laptop in my bed watching Caso Cerrado. I'm not understanding anything at this point, but progressively, as you're picking up new words in this, you start picking out little words that you heard. So maybe if I learned, it's crazy to say this, but one of the first words that I remember from learning in this book was infierno, which is hell. And so when I was watching Caso Cerrado, and one lady was talking about her husband, and she was like, "O sea, me pareció como el infierno." I just like, oh, she said something about her relationship seemed like hell. And so just over time, progressively, that's what I would do. But that was my study habit. Check out my other videos and you can get some more information on that. Let me try to keep up with the comments. Dario, I hope you understand. I wrote more English than I can listen. Oh, no, definitely, Dario, I understand. I understand all of your comments. And Dario, I really appreciate your comments. I read all the comments and yours help me out a lot. Tus comentarios me ayudaron tanto, Dario. Muchísimas gracias, en serio. Steven, I can speak in public. I'm not shy, but once they answer me so fast, I don't catch it. Yeah, Stephen, that's normal, man. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. Even at my school, I have a lot of students actually that have just come to the United States from like different countries, Guatemala, Honduras, and otros países, other countries. And sometimes they speak to me like really fast. And I'm like, I'll say, okay, what do I say? I like perdón or like de nuevo, dime. It's like your brain isn't trained to pick up uh, just the fast Spanish initially. So I just say over time it gets better. When did the penny drop for you? In 6 months in? No. After like a year and one more month after that, that's when, for lack of a better phrase, the penny dropped. Like I was like, okay, I'm feeling confident, but not in the first year. Definitely not. Because of you, I'm taking classes with Sandra. Sometimes it's hard to keep my motivation up, though. Definitely understandable, Anthony. But Sandra's a great tutor. Like I feel like Sandra's almost a friend of mine now. Like I could talk to her about anything. So yeah, I just keep with it, Anthony. I get it. And we got life going on. It's not as easy as just like sit there and study. So I get it. But yeah, I'd recommend Sandra to anybody else. Thanks again for everything you've done. I'd love to see you keep at it, but honestly, you don't owe us anything. Do what you think is best for you. David, I definitely want to keep going. I enjoy this. It's just a time commitment thing. Like, for example, I hadn't had a chance to look at it, but I have a tutoring business, like a math tutoring business. And I'm a humble person, but just if I'm being honest with you, I'm fairly popular in like the metro Atlanta area with like some of these parents. And so they recommend me to like their friends. And so their friends are sending me messages all the time about tutoring. And so just like my life schedule is pretty booked and I actually enjoy tutoring. So that's what's getting stopping me from recording like I want to. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. It's just I need ideas. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Those of you that came a little late, I need ideas for YouTube videos because again, I did not start with YouTube as with me being a YouTuber in mind. It's just kind of happened. How can I get more vocabulary? Stephen, reading. The first book I read was called Super Vaca. It was like it's crazy I remember that, but it was a story about a cow, like a superhero cow. Again, I'm an adult, a grown man talking about that, but that's what the story was about. And I remember learning the word vaca and colors and different things, pata, which is like the hand of animals, all that kind of stuff. I remember from learning those books, from reading those books. So I would just look up children's books. One page has one sentence there. If I don't understand the word, I just look it up. That's how I did it. What was your motivation to learn Spanish? Guys, it sounds bad, but I didn't have a motivation at first. I literally was on my phone, like listening to a Drake album, and something just hit me like I don't want to listen to music anymore. Like I want to stimulate my mind and learn something. And I just found some random lessons on Spotify. And then I got addicted to the process of being able to just communicate in a different language. It also helped that year I had my 7th period math class. I had like 8 Hispanic kids that would always like speak in Spanish, and understanding them, like coming back from the Christmas break and understanding them was like, oh, this is kind of cool to be able to understand what they're saying. And then once they found out that I was interested, they started helping me a lot. So it just came from there. It wasn't like I know a lot of people say like I'm married to somebody whose family speaks Spanish and that's motivated me, or I always wanted to travel and all that. That stuff for me has come, the traveling part has come for me after learning Spanish. I'd be interested in seeing your chat with some of your first tutors again, like Juan. My chat, what do you mean? Like the text, like the text messages? We didn't chat. I didn't chat with Juan. I just booked the lesson, and it was horrible. Like I was bad. I was really bad. But I just booked the lesson, and then from there, if you're asking like you'd like to see a text message conversation with me, I can show you all that. With maybe one of my friends or something. About the Madrigal Spanish book you recommend, what did you learn most from it? Past tense. Real Mr. Embry. I don't know why I'm mixing the languages. Past tense, the past tense. I learned that the most. And vocabulary. And it's helpful to learn how the language is structured. With that said, there's some deficits in that book that hopefully one day I can come up with some kind of resource or like a little cheap book or something to put on here to offer to you all, so that because some of this stuff, some of these grammatical definitions, like I feel like a lot, I'm not being, I'm not speaking bad about anybody, but a lot of these books, even the most well-written books, are written by native Spanish speakers, which is great. They understand their own language. But a lot of times they don't understand, like, this could be made so much simpler if you just explain it to me, like, okay, in English we say this like that. It's the equivalent. And so yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah, past tense. Talk to El Gringo Venezolano. I don't know him, Davis. I don't know him. What's his name? Um, un saludo cariñoso de la abuela desde Miami. Muchísimas gracias, abuela. Muchísimas gracias. En serio, usted me ha ayudado un montón acá en YouTube. Habían muchas veces donde quería quitarme de estos estudios y todo eso. Entonces usted me ha ayudado muchísimo. Where can I get the podcast? What app? Spotify. Spotify. Do you have a DELE certificate? I was telling the other somebody earlier, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. I am getting certified to teach English as a second language in schools, but that certification, no, I don't have that. You have a group to practice Spanish or English? That's something else that we could, do it. We can link up and start that here on the channel. I think that'd be great, Dario. Yo creo que eso sería una buena idea. El problema es que yo no he construido algo así, pero sí creo que a todos nosotros nos ayudaría, creo. Sí, and I would hope that this channel is a meeting place for that, because by happenstance, I've we've got people here that are native Spanish speakers, native English speakers. So in the comments, I'll investigate that if I need to start some kind of Patreon. It's just the problem. I'm not on social media, and so I don't have a Facebook or anything like that. But I'm not opposed to creating that. Mike Ben's Intercambio, we can name it, and then we can do it like that. Alicia, you're another one. I really appreciate your comments so much. And let me see. I'm not familiar with Super Chat, but David, I really appreciate that. Like honestly, because I know if I Super Chat to somebody else's YouTube channel, it's like they've helped me a lot. Like if I'm willing to go in my pocket and support that way. So I really appreciate that, David. Thank you so much. Gracias a ti. Me has ayudado mucho con los comentarios. En serio, ustedes. Thank you, real Embry. I appreciate that. Honestly, guys. Like you guys just commenting, like it makes me happy. So I appreciate that. Okay, Alicia, I've been learning for 8 months, and I struggle to think of the correct grammar and combos, but I can write it fine. I think it's more important to get the grammar right or to just get my thoughts out. Alicia, so there's a balance, right? It's if we're I feel like if I'm over it, I'm thinking back to me at 8 months, right? If I over like analyze, I'm not gonna be able to conversate, and then I won't get corrected. And so I would not be thinking what I would not do, Alicia, sorry for mispronouncing it, is I would not be thinking like, okay, if I want to say I went to the store, yo fui, yo iba, I wouldn't be thinking like that. Yo fuiste. I would just say something and I would just try to say it. I would just try to say it and get corrected. I'm kind of just like throwing things out and letting my tutor smack me down and correct it. Okay. And also, one thing I used to do is just I don't have it on my phone anymore, but I downloaded the Google Translate app, and if I was unsure if I was saying something right, I would just say it to the app and see how it translated into English. But Alicia, I would just try to say things, because that I know exactly what you're describing, but that for me just went away with time, especially with getting corrected. But I understand what you're saying. I can roll my R's in isolation, but I can't do it with words. Rob, all I can say is practice. Like luckily when I was a kid, I used to bother my family in the car by just making that R rolling sound, that like that. So I never had a problem with that, but I would just say literally maybe practice that. That could help. Or like the word ferrocarril, that means like railroad. Practice that. I don't know. Just listening to it, saying things slowly, I think it helps. Felicidades por tu trabajo. Where do the comments go? Sorry, I want to keep up with everything. Muchas gracias, Davis. Muchísimas gracias. Quick tempo, caso cerrado. Hermano, tú ya sabes, no me has ayudado un montón acá en YouTube. Me has motivado muchísimo, tanto y a mí me encantan tus videos, todos. Y felicidades por el matrimonio, hermano. Muchísimas gracias. No, guys, I appreciate that quick tempo, man. Guys, I really don't. Y'all's comments help. I mean, like they're making my day. So anything on top of that is greatly appreciated. I appreciate that, brother. Honestly, like seriously. You don't even know. Sometimes you got me binging on your advice videos at late at night. You don't even know, man. So I appreciate it, honestly. And that trip to Puerto Rico motivated me. I know I've already been, but I definitely want to get back because of that, because of your videos. Hey, Mike, did you ever go to a formal school for Spanish? Can I learn everything from books or study guides? Never went to a formal school. Like I said, just these books, reading books at home, and iTalk. I don't think you need that stuff. If you want somebody to be on your back and motivating you, sure, but if you're decently self-motivated, I don't think you need it. When should I start doing tutor calls in my Spanish journey? Hustle Vision. That's a good question. I can't tell you months because for everybody the months will be different. But if you can understand basic vocabulary, what does that mean? Like just basic life vocabulary. If you feel like in a conversation, if they asked you, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? ¿Cuáles son tus pasatiempos? ¿A qué te dedicas? Like if you understand those things and you can kind of filter through and get through a conversation, not easily, but fighting through a conversation there, I would say start. I talk to a lot of my tutors and they always tell me like, Michael, like I watch your videos and I appreciate your opinion and your perspective from the side of the student, but you don't even know. Sometimes we have students here that can't even say, when I ask them, ¿Cómo te llamas? They can't respond to me. So if you're in that position, I wouldn't start with a tutor, but as long as you can understand what people are saying to you, I say go ahead and start. Hey, Mike, thanks for the content. Sorry, Helmet Chili, I appreciate that. Honestly, I had no idea I was helping you all this much. Honestly, ¿te gustaría aprender otro idioma? Portugués or Italian are fairly similar to Spanish. También, ¿cuál es tu acento de español favorito? A mí me gusta el argentino. Isidro, perdón. Un día a mí me gustaría aprender otro idioma. One day I'd like to learn another language, but right now I'm focusing on Spanish solely. I just feel like it's the most useful. It's in terms of proximity, the countries that I can travel to the easiest, they're all Spanish speaking, and or English speaking. So I'm gonna stick with that for now. I do have interest in visiting Brazil. This is years in the future, so yeah, one day I'll learn Portuguese. Hey man, thanks so much for your help. I followed you for a while and I've used a lot of the tips, but how long did it take for you to be able to listen and hear Spanish? 31-second car show to really listen and understand. again, I wasn't understanding everything up until about a year. Okay, everything, like even that at that point, I still didn't understand some things, but I would say give it a year until I gave it, or it took me, sorry, a year until my ear was really trained enough to understand what I was hearing for the most part. And even with that, I wasn't understanding everything. So I would say that that takes a while. Yeah, it takes a while. I did the same with reggaeton. I do understand some of the music. I've been listening for years. Yeah, yeah. Reggaeton helps. I don't care what these tutors say. They'll tell you don't listen to reggaeton. I bet if you land in Puerto Rico or in Cartagena and they say "pa que me ayudes," oíste, you're gonna need to know what "pa que" means, or todo eso, and all that. You need to listen to reggaeton. It's influencing the culture, so people talk like that. How long did you study Spanish before you started doing italki lessons? I think I started after 2 to 3 months. That was a bad idea, though. I couldn't understand what people were saying to me, so I would push that off a little bit and try to respond a little bit faster so that I don't miss you all's questions. Hey, question: the Magicals book focus on this did not do. How did you make up for it? That's a great question. 31 car show. I just when I was going through the book, I would look up the two conjugations. I would look that up. I would look those up as I'm going through the book. And it also, yeah, that's the main thing. Plan on teaching mathematics in Spanish. Helmet Chili. What's crazy? I have to do an observation for this certification that I'm getting to teach English to Spanish speakers, and I have to go back into. I did this already. I taught math and Spanish to some students at my school, and they were like, "Can you come back, man? Like, we need you to come back because you speak our language. We need you to come back." I just didn't record it, but I got permission, and I'm going to record that this week, next week actually, and I'll upload that. Not with the students in it, but yeah. So I can do that. I definitely can do that. I don't know if I want to do it, but I can. I'm capable of doing it. While you were in Atlanta, Georgia, damn, I was stationed in the beginning as a drill sergeant, just left. Yeah, yeah. I like Atlanta. I like Atlanta. I do. I like Atlanta. It's getting a lot. It's getting crowded and it's changing a little bit, but I like Atlanta. It's changing though. Tuscan Wonder, brother, you're an inspiration. I appreciate that. God, this is really crazy when you all say that. Like sometimes I wake up and read the comments. I'm like, I'm an inspiration. What? Like, I appreciate that, honestly. How long did you take to become conversationally fluent in Spanish? Can't answer that because I may not. I mean, just fluent. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a year and a. I want to answer your question because I used to hate when people said I don't know to that, but maybe a year and a month until I really was conversationally fluent. But I'm not even completely fluent now. But I get your question. About a year and 1 month until I could really hold my own. I've been coming to language meetups for the past 6 years, and so just as I was intending to travel. Tuscan Wonder, if you know of any places like any websites that have that, whenever I know people recommend that to me a lot, but when I look for those in Atlanta, I can never find them. They're all online, and which is fine, but there's no difference in me doing that with somebody in Atlanta online and somebody in another country. So if you have any ideas for that, I greatly appreciate it. Any websites or something. Time traveler, hi Ben, how's it going, time traveler? Roger, you keep. Oh, I'm losing comments. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Roger, you keep me inspired to keep working on my Spanish. I'm at that awkward intermediate stage where I know just enough to be dangerous, but I'm guessing about what I hear. I'm never 100% sure. Roger, it just depends on how long you've been studying, man. Because again, up until maybe a year and 3 months, I was like that. Like again, in some of these videos that you all have seen, where I'm like, really, de verdad, en serio? En serio, así es? I'm not understanding what they're saying. Like, I understood maybe a part, but I really didn't understand everything. So it just depends on how long. This is a good question. How many italki classes do you have a week? 31-second car show right now, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. Just because like two most often than not, 2 to 3. Um, yeah, and that's been pretty consistent. I can't say that's changed. Hola Manuel, ¿cómo estás, hermano? Tú, ay, has estado a mi lado por todo el camino con el idioma, entonces te agradezco mucho, 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 Manuel, mucho. Flow Fiver about the chats with Juan. You posted a video of your first lesson with him. I think you're. Oh, I see what you're saying, Flow Five. I see now. I see. I get your point. The Skype, like the where he's helping me through Skype. I have to see if I can screenshot that and send it to you. What's your opinion on watching TV in Spanish to learn how effective is it? I think it's effective. I hate bringing this up because people stereotype these countries with this. But I watched Narcos and other shows, La Casa. No, no, no. Uh, La Fea, algo así de Colombia, like something like that from Colombia, La Fea, Betty La Fea, creo. And so I watched TV in Spanish, but I regret watching it with the subtitles. The problem was Narcos is such an interesting. It's besides the violence and stuff. It's actually a good. like a history lesson, and so I wanted to understand what was going on, so I watched it with the subtitles. But if I could go back, I would watch all that stuff without the subtitles and just sacrifice and not understand. Saludos desde México, Yucatán, mi hermano Manuel. Eso es, no te puedo decir 100%, pero creo que es la parte favorito, mi parte favorita, perdón, de México. La historia de allí me ha fascinado por años, desde cuando yo tenía 12 años, o sea, en la escuela, aprendiendo de las mayas y todo eso. Have you ever thought about creating a second channel teaching math in Spanish? I have. Actually, that's a lie. I have not. I've thought about creating a second channel where I teach Spanish, like, because this channel is not really me teaching Spanish, but I haven't thought about it. I like teaching. I like teaching math, but I don't know if I would want to do a channel with it. But it's a great idea. Are you planning on visiting more Spanish-speaking countries, and if so, which ones? Stone Cold, definitely. The most convenient right now would be either because Quick Tempo. If you all haven't seen his channel, he has a great channel. Um, Check out his channel. Just click on his profile here, but he went to Puerto Rico, and that motivated me to either go to Puerto Rico, Panama, or Costa Rica. I'm planning on those three. But I also plan on going back to Peru in the summer. I definitely want to go back to Peru this summer. But we can't understand nothing. We learn like everyone else. But when it comes to understanding, we can't understand. Palace Kingpin, tell me that a different way. I don't. Tell me that one, like, rewrite that for me, and I'll make sure to answer your question. You already know you're the reason I post my Spanish. Quick tempo, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. How did you juggle multiple tutors starting out? It wasn't a tough task. I just, just would work with different people, and that's it. It wasn't tough. I didn't even let them know I was working with other people. I was just trying people out. You're underrated. Wow, I appreciate that. Sweet roll tacos. I appreciate that. Honestly, I don't even know how to thank you enough for that. Desde Francia. Wow. That is another thing that's crazy for me. Like when I read comments, you're like, saludos desde India, desde Rusia, Ruso, creo, desde Uruguay, desde Argentina. It's like, wow, I can't even believe this. I really cannot even believe this, some of this stuff. You're not deleting the channel, right? Never, Tyrone, never. I'm not going to delete the channel. I'm starting my language journey, and you motivated me to start. I appreciate that, Tyrone. Honestly, I appreciate it. But no, I'm not going to delete the channel. Peruanos te siguen acá. Ah, sí, a mí me encantó Perú. Ya tengo las ganas de volver en junio, creo. No, al final de mayo. Y iba a venir, o sea, iba a volver más temprano, pero por algunas razones no pude. Pero sí, tengo las ganas de volver al final de mayo. Me encantó esa estancia ahí. Was there certain times when you could feel your ability increase and just click into the next level after practicing? For sure, Matt. For sure. 100%. Like after you read something and you feel like you just learned how to say some things, and then you hear it and you're like, oh, I understand everything that they just said. Definitely. Kendall, I was hoping to do what you did in your Peru trip with talking and connecting to the locals with ease, but that didn't go as planned in Ciudad de Mexico, despite my A2B. I never felt like an A1. We'll continue learning. Definitely, Kendall. And it just depends. I mean, like, well, depending on where you are, people are more open. People are, um, just more open to talk and more. I think in Mexico City, they're so used to foreigners, it may not be as like, where are you from? So that's part of it. But yeah, keep going. Hi, Mike. I just stumbled across your channel a few days ago while looking for info about Arequipa, and I'm binge watching your journey from the beginning. Oh, nice to see you live. Muchísimas gracias, Soul Search. I appreciate that. Honestly, I hope the videos help. Honestly, that's all I'm really here to do. YouTube channel can grow more and travel to South America or to live here. Dario, sí, eso es el plan. Quizás no sé el país ahora, pero probablemente Perú o otro país. Sí, me encantaría vivir allí. What is your fluency rating? I don't know. I've never tested it. I'm not sure. Hustle Vision. Kendall hope to keep losing the comments. Where is it? Kendall hope to make a Peru video like yours one day. Definitely. You'll love Peru, man. I don't care. You can watch videos on the internet and people will say the good things, bad things. I'm in the mindset now of just going and experiencing things for myself. Like, I'm not going to listen to anybody tell me like out there it's bad, or out there they don't like this type of person, or out there da da da. It could be like that. It could not. Just depends on everybody's personal experiences. How did you get to know your friend that was showing you around Peru? Worldwide, Nakama, which one? Because one is one is the family. And one is Sophia. And I met Sophia actually through this YouTube channel. She commented one time and was like, hey, this is early though, before I had a decent amount of subscribers, and she was like, hey, I'm learning English, I can help you with Spanish. So we started speaking from there, and then I just Eventually, she actually, because at the time I didn't know what country I was going to go to. I was either going to go to Panama, Peru, or Mexico. And she was like, come to Peru. Like, I promise you'll enjoy it. And so she planned everything out for me and Arequipa. She's from Arequipa. But she's lived in the United States and back and forth. So she's an interesting person. You can check her channel. I mean, no, not channel, but her italki profile on the video that we did with, on the video that I did with her. How did you get to know your friend? Okay, Paul, I just find people on Hello Talk and do voice calls on WhatsApp with them instead of paying for a tutor. That's a great idea, Paul. It just depends on how comfortable you are. Do you have any tips for a beginner Spanish learner? I'm in middle school. Wow, sweet roll tacos. That's impressive. I teach middle school. I'm in middle school and take Spanish class. Check out my, oh, this isn't one of my students. Check out my video titled "How I Learned Spanish in a Year." That'll explain everything for you. Looking back at your Spanish learning journey, would you do anything different, like things you wish you would have done sooner? Yeah, Jeffrey, I have a video describing that. So check out that video. I have a video describing that. It's called 5 things I should have done or I would have done differently learning Spanish. I explain everything there. You can teach us numbers by using what you tutor in math. It's hard for me on the large number side. Good point, Cookie. I definitely can do that. I can do a video on that. Yeah, I got to say this too, not trying to cause any tears, but you're an inspiration. Man, 31-second car show, guys. That's crazy to me. Like, I really appreciate that because I understand what you're looking. I understand where that comment comes from because I was looking for the same thing. Like, for example, Bilingue Blogs. He was like that for me. If y'all know who he is, like he was like that for me. Zach Morris is like a guy from Kentucky that moved to Columbia. He was like that for me, but I never got to see them from zero all the way up to where they are now. I just saw them like da, 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 da. So it's crazy that you all are telling me that. Honestly, I literally started learning Spanish because of you. It's been so fun. Wow, Zach, it's crazy to hear that. Honestly, I appreciate that. It's like super humbling. Honestly. Yeah, your videos really show me that as long as you start and stay consistent, that's the key. Helmet, yep. Winston, Griff, what's going on, Griff? Rasta man is asking, why are you learning Spanish? Why not Creole? Griff, I'm not gonna answer that. That's an insider. But yeah, I do want to go to Equatorial Guinea. It's just a matter of getting over my fear of flying over the Atlantic Ocean. It's not really a fear, it's just like a time thing. Um, so yeah, and I would do that as a 2-part trip. Like I would go to Spain, explore Spain, and then go to Equatorial Guinea right after that. I know there are direct flights. You have to pass through Spain anyway to get there, to get to Africa, to get to Equatorial Guinea. So I do that. I do like to watch Spanish news. Yeah, that helps, Helmet King. Oh, I lost some comments. Let me go back. This is a good question. When do you do italki lessons? How often do you go back and review the corrections, and what do you do with them? To be honest, I don't 31-second car show. I don't look at those, and I never did. Like I just never did. Just being honest, I never did. How do you juggle multiple tutors starting out? Did you use different tutors for different purposes? No, I think more so than anything, I'll give you a good point here, James Mal. I think for me, what helped, again, I've not said this in my videos. There have been countless times where I wanted to quit learning Spanish. Like, I know you all see the videos, it's like such a smooth journey, but there have been hundreds, I can't say hundreds, but at least 30 times where I literally sat down at night, like, why am I doing all this? But you know what helped me? I knew Juan would be let down. Like I knew he'd be disappointed if I stopped learning. I knew Sharon would be disappointed if I stopped learning. So that really motivated me. So besides all their strategies and all of that, what's helped me the most is having a tutor that I connected with that I would let down. I'll give you an example. I have a lot of kids in my math class that hate math. Like they genuinely hate math, but they I'm not saying they like me, but they have built a connection with me. They feel like, this guy's a decently cool guy. Like I don't want to let him down. So they actually do their work. You know what I mean? Whereas in other classes, they wouldn't even try, but because we have a connection, they don't want to let me down or let themselves down or stuff like that or disappoint me. So I felt that same way towards some of my tutors. And so I think that's more important than anything besides their strategies. Well done, Mike. Every time I think of giving up, I watch your videos and keep me motivated, and they keep me motivated. You keep me motivated. Wow, thank you. Also about some of the books you recommend. Love from Scotland. Wow, B, Scotland. Like that's so crazy to me. Like I really appreciate that. That's really crazy to me. Like, man, I appreciate that, honestly. Also, another idea, simple things like going over what you bought from the store, cook for dinner. It's a good idea, Cookie. I can do that. ¿Entiendes todo en una serie? Por la mayor parte, Julián, sí, sí. No todo, o sea, si hay jerga o algo así, no, pero por la mayor parte sí entiendo más o menos todo ahora mismo. No soy perfecto para nada, pero ya entiendo la mayoría de las cosas que escucho. Hey, I'm in Barbados, so folks from all over. Wow. My dad used to live in Barbados. I love Barbados. Love Barbados. Never been, but from what I've seen, I love it. Anybody I've met from Barbados has always been good vibes. Saw your video, saw your tips video, and your recommendations of Madrigals is the best thing that ever happened to my Spanish. Yeah, it's such a great book. It is, honestly. And again, I didn't do that for any kind of other, ulterior motives other than it helped me a lot. It's the reason that I was able to increase in Spanish so fast. No matter how far in the learning journey, we still can understand you were able to pick up after a while, but for some of us, it's been years. Oh, I get it. I get it, Palace Kingpin. I understand that for sure. I would ask though, like, have you been disciplined for years? And what I mean by that, I'm not saying like every day, but just regularly staying on top of it. Have you been pretty disciplined over the years? Your videos have helped and encouraged me on the language learning journey. Thank you. The hardest part for me is not being afraid to speak, but I'm trying to work on it. Deanna, I agree. I think that's something that we all struggle with for sure. Yeah, I think we all struggle with that. Even to this day, like I was telling them earlier in the live, I went to a market today to try to interview some people, and even when they would speak to me, it's like it's just tough. It just depends on the environment, especially in the United States. Like when you travel internationally, it's like easy, it just flows out. But in the United States, depending on where you are, whatever country you're in, I can get the intimidation. Would you ever do italki lessons for English or Spanish? I've thought about it. Right now, it just wouldn't work with my schedule because I tutor math a lot. But I thought about it. John, well, I appreciate that, John. Thank you, thank you. Mike, I'm from Peru, living in Chile. I hope you decided to live. Dario, sí, sí. Yo casi compré un boleto de avión perdón, para volver a Perú en junio, no, al final de mayo. Y creo, o sea, es casi 100% que voy a ir en mayo, sí. Luisa, how's it going, Luisa? How's it going? So for those of you that don't know, Luisa is one of my language exchange partners. I think we've been talking for almost a year and a half now. She's helped me a lot, okay? And somebody asked me, I didn't respond to it. My favorite accent is the Paisa accent from Colombia, okay? It's not like far ahead of all the others, but when I hear that accent, or really any Colombian accent, it just sounds like music to me. So Luis is one of my exchange partners. Hey, Luis, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Is there a woman behind your decision? You met someone, right? What decision? What decision? What decision? Leaving the U.S. or what? Peru or what in particular? Leaving the U.S. as in moving where? Yeah. So the point I was gonna ask you, if you all saw my last video, I do have an interest in living in another country. Like I don't know. I just feel like that's an interesting piece of life. Like we have access to it in our lifetimes. So because I don't have any personal anchors in my life, I definitely would like to do that. And so I'm debating on what country. I think for what I'm going to do, some of you all left me some great comments. And what I think I'll do is for the next 2 summers, I'll just go explore some countries and see where I want to live. And then from there, who's to say, it may be a year, maybe two, maybe the rest of my life, who knows? But yeah, I definitely have that desire. And again, Luisa there is my language exchange partner. What she has stressed to me is like, if you have that desire, like that itch, it's better to live with, living an experience and not liking it versus dying and regretting it. And what really motivated me to think about that is I mentioned it in my last video is that like I had some kind of issue with my heart, like so much so that tomorrow I'm going to the cardiologist. Like I'm a healthy guy, like I work out and all that, but something happened and I literally felt like I was about to die. So I was like, man, it really kind of put me in the mindset of like, you're not immortal, guy. Like you need to think about what you really want out of life. So is there one? Okay, I already read that. Mike, te espero. Jenny, ¿cómo estás, Jenny? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Me alegro mucho que estés acá, en serio. Espero que la familia esté ahí también. Y ya, sí, creo que voy a ir al final de mayo. Si todo salga bien, si sale bien, voy a volver. Entonces, estaré todavía, o sea, ahora mismo estoy emocionado de volver. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Winston, serious question. Are you at the point where you can pick up accents from different Spanish speaking countries? Definitely good for sure. For sure. I can easily. The only thing that could confuse me is maybe like a Puerto Rican versus a Puerto Rican versus a Cuban person. But other than that, yeah, I can identify where somebody's from. Mike, just want to thank you for your channel. You've been an inspiration for me while I've been learning. I'm a med student learning Spanish with the hope of using it in my career and personal life. Jeffrey, honestly, like, I know I keep saying this, and some of you are like, dude, chill out, but that's so crazy to me. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, I did not start uploading videos to end up reading comments like that. So it's such a humbling thing to read, you know, like I really appreciate that. And all the best of luck with your med school studies. We need more doctors, especially bilingual doctors here in the United States. So good luck with everything. But I appreciate that so much, honestly. Sweet Roll Tacos, what inspires you to learn Spanish? I'm sorry, someone else asked that. Yeah. I didn't have an inspiration at the beginning, Sweet Roll Tacos. It was just by chance I found some lessons and I got addicted to the feeling of learning new words. Hey, I just started my Spanish journey and I'm 1 month in. The People's Coach, keep going. If you have any questions for me, let me know, but keep going. I can literally say Spanish has changed my life, like literally changed my life. If you would have told me 3 years ago that I would have been bilingual, considering getting another job certification, traveling the world, living in a different country, meeting people that I never thought I would have met. Like I literally would have never met some of the people that I know now. And it's all because of Spanish. So please don't quit. Like, please, I don't care how bad you want to quit. I wanted to quit so many times. Like so many times I wanted to say, forget this. This isn't even important. But yeah, I'm so glad I didn't stop. The stream is so useful to learn English. Greetings from Argentina. Julian, muchísimas gracias. Y de nuevo, para mí es una locura que alguien de Argentina me está viendo ahora. En serio, empecé esto no a propósito para documentar mi progreso y ahora hay alguien de Argentina, de Europa, de India, de Asia viéndome. Es una locura, en serio. Entonces, muchísimas gracias y tengo las ganas de visitar a tu país. Últimamente he visto muchos videos de algunos YouTubers que están viajando por tu país y me parece increíble tu país, en serio, en serio. Es muy diverso también, el norte es diferente, los paisajes, todo eso. Y el español es muy único también, entonces me encantaría visitar un día. Been learning for the past 6 months. Your videos really helping. Good to see someone start from scratch. Laoshu, rest in peace, Laoshu. He's another one. I can't forget to mention him. He's another one that motivated me a lot. Bilingual blogs represent as well. I agree, KB visuals. And I think that's something that was lacking on YouTube. You know what I mean? Representation in that regard, so that everyone felt welcome to learn Spanish or any language. So I appreciate that comment. And I'm glad I can be a part of the change to make sure that everybody understands that everybody's open to learning languages, not, you know. I'm from Georgia. What South American country do you recommend to go to improve Spanish? The People's Coach, I can't say a country that I would recommend to improve your Spanish. It just depends on what you like. Like, it just depends on what you like. Depends on what accent seems best to you. Depends on what kind of vibe you like. I can't say. Depends on what kind of weather you like, what kind of food you like. I would say though, like I mentioned to someone earlier, I would start before you went down there. Like, I don't think just going to a country helps you learn the language, because I'm sure you've met, if you're from the United States, I'm sure you've met people. For example, I was just in a part of Atlanta where it's like strictly Latinos. All right, Buford Highway, if you know about Atlanta, it's not strictly Latinos, but it's predominantly, Spanish speaking out there. And I passed by so many people that could not speak English, and they've been living here their entire lives. So I would say learn as much as you can at home. Elijah, we had the same instruction from italki Sharon. Elijah, Sharon is an amazing tutor. Like, Sharon is an amazing tutor, amazing person, amazing tutor. Showed me around Colombia, connected me with her uncle out there in Colombia. So yeah, she's a great person. And Elijah, I appreciate that super chat, honestly. Like, I can't even, again, when I do super chats, you know, give those to other people, it's because they've really, really impacted me or helped me. So I imagine it's the same for other people. So I appreciate that, Elijah, so much. I really do. Yeah, the option to explore is there, so go for it. I agree, Helmet. I agree. I don't have kids, like, you know what I mean. Like, the only thing tying me down is my house. I love my family, you know, I do, but that wouldn't be something that's going to stop me from going somewhere. So I agree. It's the time to do something. I just have to figure out how the finances will work out. But not that I would be, you know, I'd be fine, but it's just I want to make sure I figure out what to do with the house and all that. So glad to have caught your live stream before boarding my flights. But okay, echas más contenido. Sí, voy a hacer más contenido, Kendall. Muchísimas gracias. Que tengas un buen viaje. Jesus is one. What shows would you recommend for a beginner in Spanish? For a beginner, Jesus, just go on YouTube and type in. It depends on what you like, but I like at that point, there's a free show on YouTube called Caso Cerrado. Caso Cerrado. It's filmed in Miami. That is easy to find. I'm just thinking about what I used to watch. Peppa Pig is a show that I used to watch. I know it's a children's show, but it helped me learn vocabulary. It depends on what the intention is. Like, if you're using it to actually, did you say for a beginner in Spanish? Yeah, so just watch kid shows, Peppa Pig. And see, once your vocabulary is good enough, like right now, I find myself Googling, like researching things that I'm interested in, but in Spanish, right? So like a couple of minutes ago we're almost an hour in now, but before this stream started, I was watching some videos on Bolivia and Peru, like street interviews. But I like Googled that. Like I found that myself because my Spanish vocabulary is higher now. Where are we at? Kindle, that reader, da, da, da. Where are we? Have you thought about learning another language while learning Spanish or prefer to stick to one? Polaco, wow. Wow, I appreciate that. Like again, it's crazy to read that, but I haven't yet. I was mentioning like Portuguese maybe in the future because I'm interested in Brazil, but right now I'm not. I'm focused on Spanish for now. Is there a woman behind your decision to move at least in part? Um, mm, Nick, let's see. Let's see. Mike, hi Mike. Have you been inspiring me through the past 5 months of my Spanish journey? Do you ever feel like you downplay your Spanish level? How much more growth do you think you can do in a year? I'm a naturally like I don't like to, I don't like to brag. And again, when I started YouTube, Nick, I was trying to avoid or like separate myself from the people that say, "Hey, I learned Spanish in 1 month. Like I've got fluent in 2 months." So I guess maybe to an extent I do downplay it because I am, decent, I would say. But then again, I see people like bilingual blogs, like Zach Morris, like some of these American or United States, um, people from the United States that speak so like natives that it humbles me. So I guess that's why. Hola, soy de Ecuador. Adrian, muchas gracias por estar acá. Yo tengo las ganas también a visitar a Ecuador. Me gustaría ver la diferencia entre Ecuador y Colombia, porque he escuchado que hay muchas cosas parecidas, pero a la vez es una cultura completamente diferente. Entonces eso me fascina. Un día voy a visitar a Ecuador y también quiero ir a ese lugar que se dice es la mitad del mundo, de la tierra. A mí me encantaría visitar a Ecuador. Help on how to pronounce the Spanish H. La abuela te ayudó con eso. She helps you with that hustle vision. It's like you ignore it. It's like you ignore it. Like give me an example. Like if you say yo hice, you don't. It's spelled Hize, but you just ignore it. It's like hice. It's like you just ignore it pretty much. Yeah, it doesn't sound at all. What are the most understandable accents? Understandable Peruvian, and I would say Mexican, but the problem, it's not a problem because I love Mexican Spanish, but the problem with Mexican Spanish is there's so much slang. Like even somebody that's like un gomin, I think they call them, like office workers use that slang. Like, wey, no mames, wey, que onda, wey, cabrón. It's so much slang embedded in it that I feel like it's hard to understand if you're not accustomed to Spanish from Mexico. So in terms of accent, Peruvian, um, where else? I just feel like Peru's Spanish is like very crisp. Colombian also, but even Colombian's got a little style to it. It's got some style to it that would make it. I just think of Peruvian Spanish as like standard, like crisp, clean, and Mexican Spanish is like that too. If you take out the slang, so yeah. Hola Mike, me alegra mucho que menciones a mi país. Amo mi país, pero para ser honesto es muy inestable. Te recomiendo Chile o Uruguay. Conder, ¿dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? No sé si vi tu mensaje anterior. ¿De dónde eres? Just join clickbait or legit? No, legit. I don't know if I should mention this or not, but you're the one who inspired me to want to study other languages such as Arabic, Korean, Japanese. That's another thing that is crazy for me. Like the fact that some people tell me I inspire them in general just to learn languages is super impressive. Like it blows my mind, honestly. I can't even believe it. I thank you all so much, honestly. Like I know you all are thanking me, but these comments they help me out also to stay motivated. I decided to because I get lazy too. We all get lazy, especially if you feel like you can speak the language. You're like, I don't need to study this stuff anymore. I need to do exercises. But then you all motivate me. So I decided to get back into learning French again after watching your videos and hope to learn Spanish one day. So glad I found your channel. Thank you. Denise, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you. I appreciate that, Denise. Honestly, like I appreciate it. It's super humbling to hear stuff like that. Thank you for your help, homie. Jacob, you're welcome, of course. No problem at all. You're always welcome. Hustle environment. Okay. Oh, hustle vision. That's a good point. The G, because you hear it differently, right? It's like some people say like that, and some people just say like it's some people don't make it very strong. I never do the strong one. So because somebody like Sharon, my tutor, she was like, you can just say it suave and it sounds normal. Alicia, looking forward to more videos from you. Any tips on getting words from passive vocab to active? Hmm, good question. I understand most of that I read, but here, but have trouble producing it myself. That's a good question, Alicia. What I would do, I used to do this. like let's say during the week I learned what's the word I just recently learned? I don't know. Let's say okay, hayar. Like I think that means like to find or capture. So let's say I learned that word earlier in the week and I'm having trouble like making sure that I have that as a word just, sorry, ready to use in every Spanish conversation that I had that week, I would make an effort to use it. Even if I had to put that in my phone and write it down, I just find some way to implement that word or those words that you've learned for the week into a conversation. And that usually did the trick for me. But there's just some words that just don't stick until you hear them a couple of times. So, but I know exactly what you're describing. That's a great question. 10 months learning Spanish now. You've helped Jacob, man. I appreciate that. Honestly, I was looking for the same thing when I first started, so I appreciate that. Commercials as well. Sábado Gigante. Yep. Would you say it's a good idea to watch shows, even if I understand practically nothing? Love your videos, man. Been using your method in my own learning. I appreciate that, Jesus. Yeah, it helps. I know exactly what you're describing. I remember not understanding anything, and yeah, just with time, it just gets better. That's all I can say. But I distinctly remember driving to Walmart thinking, like, what am I doing? I'm listening to a podcast and I understand soy. I understand eres. I don't understand anything else, like anything. Or like I don't understand así que, which is basically the word so. Like I just didn't understand that stuff. So that's normal for sure. Um who were we? Did you hear about that white American girl who almost got robbed and killed? I did, Jaguar. I did. Now, I can't say I don't I want to be careful, right? I want to be very careful, but like I'm not just saying in Latin America. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm very careful of where I am by myself or like, you know what I mean? So when I heard about the situation, I was like, man, that sucks. And it just reminds us, like, not even in Latin America, wherever you are, you got to be careful of who's watching you, who's around you. And I think that's a lesson for all of us that Spanish is super important if you want to travel. You know what I mean? It's a survival skill. It's not just like, oh, it'd be cool to learn Spanish when I'm going to Colombia, or it would be cool to know Spanish if I'm going to Mexico or whatever. It's a necessity because, like she said in the video, if we're talking about the same girl, she said in the video, the taxi driver was trying to tell her, like, hey, there's somebody following you. Somebody's following you. You need to get in my taxi. But she didn't understand it. You know what I mean? And so I think it's a necessity before you travel to certain countries to know the language. Um, yeah, I think I definitely agree. But it's sad. But when I think about that, I do think like some stuff you gotta. I don't know how to describe it. Let me be careful. I'll say it like this: me being like going to certain parts of Atlanta, understanding how dangerous areas can be has helped me in my international travels. You know what I mean? Because I would say, and I've looked up statistics on this, some dangerous parts of Atlanta are even more dangerous than some of these countries, right? Because everybody has a gun and like in certain bad neighborhoods in Atlanta. So I just think it's important to be careful wherever you are. It's not. I don't think that my point in saying that. I know I'm rambling, but what I don't like is when people have experiences like that and they say Colombia as a whole is dangerous. Like, exactly. It's not just Latin America. It's like you can't say Colombia is dangerous for that. If I'm walking on what's the old national highway with a big camera and I look like I'm not from there, and then somebody comes up with a very strong Atlanta accent, and if you're from the United States, you know that Atlanta accent is strong, and I don't understand what they're saying. Like I'm in danger at that point in one of the biggest cities in the United States that's supposedly safe. But I did see that. Yeah, it's a sad situation. But I don't think that says anything about Colombia. I think it's just general safety. Side note, do you do online tutoring? No, math tutoring I do. Math I do, Cookie, but right now, like I'm completely booked. I'm completely booked. Like when I finish this, I have to call back some parents that have been asking about tutoring because I'm completely booked. Like if I accepted, like I just have too many students waiting. Yeah, it's just I'm completely booked with even math tutoring. So doing online, adding more students, I won't be able to right now. Mike, I practice my English listening with your videos. Dario, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I would say I have pretty standard English with a mix of some other things. So yeah, hopefully I'm helping. Perdón, Mike, olvidé de mencionar, soy de Argentina. Ah, Conder. Ok, entiendo. Sí, no conozco, o sea, no sé mucho de los, digamos, problemas que mencionaste de allí. Yo sé que hay algo que se trata de inflación, ¿no? Pero no sé. Solamente, mira, y el problema a veces con nosotros como turistas, ¿no? Es que vemos una sociedad desde los ojos de una turista. Entonces eso quizás es o sea, mi culpa, ¿no? Pero sí, todavía me fascina mucho la historia de Argentina también, porque, no sé, me interesa mucho. Un día voy a visitar. Ya saben mis metas, ¿no? De visitar cada país hispano, pues todos los países hispanos en el mundo, hispanohablantes. Entonces, sí, un día voy a venir, voy a ir. Are you gonna be done with YouTube forever, just taking a break? Be nice to have you have like a check-in video to see how your Spanish is going in our life. As a KBC, if I would have the ability to move out of the United States this summer, like this summer, I'm probably gonna live somewhere else for 2 months. I'm going to upload YouTube videos, because the thing with me and YouTube is I'm uploading videos that I think help. Like that's my intention with YouTube. And so the fear and the reason I was saying that my last video might be my last is because I'm out of ideas. Like every video that I've uploaded has been something that I thought about along the journey. I don't want to just be uploading random videos of me like doing just random things. Because when I think about uploading a video, I'm thinking like, what would make the time that you spent watching this video, what would leave you after you finish watching the video feeling fulfilled, like actually gain some value from that video, not even just I was entertained, because that's not my intention with the videos, is to actually feel like you've improved with something, or you gained some knowledge, or you've had a chance to practice your listening, or you've seen an experience that has motivated you to want to travel. That's the intent with my videos. And so when I feel like I'm not providing those kind of videos, that's when I feel like, oh, what am I going to upload? You know what I mean? And so I'll still upload videos. I'm going to come up with some ideas, and I just have to have some time to think. Like I said, I'm fortunately super busy. I'm going to cut back on some of this stuff, but you should do a meetup in Atlanta or come through to Miami and link with Bilingual Blogs to do videos here. Alicia, Bilingual Blogs and I had a video plan. I just haven't heard back from him. We had a video plan to do. I just haven't heard back from him, and I understand it. Like he's busy. So, but yeah, I'll definitely consider that. That's just the problem is I don't have social media. I need to get social media. And I know I've been saying that for a while. I just don't have anything besides the YouTube, and it's not like I've never had social media. It's just not good, bad, right or wrong. I just haven't had it, but I'll get on that and get that going. Have you considered living, retiring outside of the U.S. into a Spanish-speaking country? I'm interested, but definitely need to know the language before I go as an expat. Elijah, definitely. But see, the thing for me that me da temor, me asusta, that scares me is I see and hear from a lot of older men and women that always say like, man, if I had known that I could live this well in another country when I was 25, when I was 30, when I was 35, I would have left so many years earlier. You know what I mean? And so that's my fear of like just taking the safe route and just staying. Man, I can stay here, save so much money. Like I live in a humble part of Atlanta that's safe, but like chill. It's like, so I'm saving money and all that. So it's not like an issue of finances at all. It's just, that's my balance of like, all right, just stay here, live your life, and then go, or like enjoy your youth and go and like kind of mix the both of them. But yeah, I definitely have considered that. There's nothing wrong with the US. It's just like super materialistic. I remember being a kid and like you walk out, people are nice, people greet you, and like, and again, people are still nice. Like I was out today, people were super nice, but it's just like super fast paced, super crazy. And I didn't know also until I started learning Spanish that every country did not identify themselves based on like productivity and work and money. I just did not know that was a thing. You know how in the US, in our country, it's like the ultimate like flex on somebody is like, well, I have more money than you. Like the ultimate for most people, it's like, be quiet, like don't talk to me. I have more money than you. Like that's a thing in the United States. So like talking, I don't know. I don't know if that's so much of a thing, or like I have this profession and you're a peasant. Again, that happens everywhere, but I think it's much more of a cultural thing for us. We value ourselves based on that. And again, I'm not like saying anything bad. I grew up that way also, but I just didn't know that things were a little different in other countries. It happens everywhere, not just in Miami. I mean, not just in Latin America, here in Miami and everywhere. Agreed. I agree. And again, if we argue the whole safety thing, I don't know many other countries where the kids fear for school shooters. You know what I mean? On a regular basis, like that's unique to our country. So we can't claim that the U.S. is just the safest paradise ever. Like to me, that's still just crazy that whenever I go into work, I'm aware that if I hear screaming in the hallway, I possibly need to prepare my kids to hide from a school shooter. Like that's normal in our country, and so we can't claim to be the bastions of safety. Mi país, Argentina, es muy bonito, pero inestable. Te recomiendo Chile o Uruguay. Ok, ok, ok. Todavía tengo las ganas de ir, pero sí, sí, muchas gracias por los consejos. El ente será el hogar siempre. Ah, so asking wonder you were born in Grady? Okay, you're a Grady baby. Okay, okay, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, I was born on the south side of Atlanta in Southern Regional in Riverdale, but Charles Lee, I discovered your channel while in the beginning stage of learning Spanish. Thank you for sharing. I live in Atlanta also. Ah, gotcha, Charles. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. Atlanta's a great place to practice Spanish. It's just, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if the population is large enough to where it's like accepted for you to just be out speaking Spanish. I think in Miami it would be a little different. Like just go somewhere and people just can speak to you in Spanish. But yeah, I like Atlanta. Like I said, it's changing for sure, but it's all right. Do you think Spanish is better than English? I can't say it's better or worse. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about it. Inflación. Altísima inflación, 50% anual. Ok, Conder. Ok, gracias por la clarificación. No sabía que era tan fuerte la situación. No sabía. Yo, your video where you explained everything you did to learn English changed my life, bro. What? Like, that's crazy to hear, man. I appreciate that, Zane. Honestly, changed your life. Like, that's crazy. And I get it because Spanish has changed my life also, but like, just me being a humble guy, it's just crazy to me to hear that. It was such good information, and it was from a channel with only a few thousand subs, so I knew it was real info. Man, I appreciate that. I bought all the same books, listened to the podcast you recommended, and I grinded super hard between my full time job, and man, it felt great. I know exactly what you're feeling like, Zane, when you just feel like you're progressing, and you're like, man, I'm actually like becoming bilingual. It's crazy, especially when you never thought it could be possible. So, I appreciate that, Zane. Honestly, I know like you're giving me thanks here, but I thank you for that comment. Honestly, en serio, hermano, en serio. When you learn new words, would you put them in a word bank to go through or just keep practicing through listening? Okay, Jesus, that's something I did not mention. There's an app called Spanish Dict, like dictionary, but DICT. Maybe like for the first month or two, yes, I would do that. Yes, and like use the flashcards there, but not often. Like again, if I'm in the line at Chick-fil-A or if I'm just sitting around, yeah, but that wasn't a big piece of my Spanish learning journey. I did that for like 2 months, but felt like it was a waste of time. If you decided to learn another language, e.g., for example, French, how far along in the first would you go? Far along in the first? Oh, helmet chili. I can't answer that because I don't plan on learning another language right now. But if you just like hypothetically, maybe at the point that I'm at now, where I feel comfortable traveling by myself to another country and communicating. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm not familiar with the like A1, A2, B1, B2, all those levels. I'm not familiar with those, but yeah, I would just do it that way. Um, I got to the point where I could joke around with my Latino coworkers. Saying, man, that's a great feeling. You know, for me too, it's like when you can be sarcastic in Spanish, you're like, man, I know what I'm doing. You know, like when people pick up on your sarcasm and look at you like, did you really just say that? It's like you're learning my language and you're already being sarcastic. So yeah, I agree. It's a great feeling. I wish I had more coworkers that spoke Spanish so I could practice with. I have one. He's a cool guy from Cuba. But yeah, I understand makes perfect sense. Quality over quantity, and yes, you should probably make an Instagram or something. Yeah, I agree, KBC. I agree. I just been lazy, man, and I find myself. I know if I were to create one, I would get addicted. But make an Instagram. I need to make one. I agree, make an Instagram. Man. All right, I'm on it. I'm on it, guys. I'm on it. Honestly, like um, I can't tonight, but I'm on it. I'm on it. I promise. Pontus. ¿Cómo estás, hermano? One of my favorite YouTubers there. Happy for you, Mike. Where are you heading? I'm heading back to Sweden in 10 days as I'm fed up with everything that is going on at the moment. I'm head back, save up, and buy. Okay. Gotcha, Pontus. Pontus, where are you considering buying? Like, are you considering buying in one of the countries that you visited? Because I'm jealous of your trip, man. Honestly, like it seemed like it was very interesting. I know exactly what you're describing when you say you're fed up. I get it. I know there's some things going on right now. I know what you mean, but where are you planning on buying eventually? I think that's a great plan. I think I might follow your lead on that. Started Spanish at the same time as you. Thanks for all your help and good luck. Wow, I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you. Good luck to you as well. I just like to read books in Spanish with my bilingual Spanish dictionary to expand my vocabulary. I'm Mexican American. Use Jaguar. That right there is something else that's like super humbling for me. Because even like you may not know it, but even like somebody, even if you were to tell me like, hey Mike, like I never grew up speaking Spanish, but I'm Mexican American, like I still would look at you as like you are the guardian of the Spanish language. Like it's like super impressive. So the fact that I'm helping you and inspiring you. It's like super humbling, and I'm super thankful for that. And hopefully, learning Spanish has helped you connect even more with your family history and culture and everything. I've been to the Dominican Republic. Oh, and sorry, somebody said yeah, Jaguar, you said you like to read. Yeah, the next book that I have here, and again, excuse me, I know I'm a weird guy. Like, I'm reading about wolves, but the next book that I have here on my list to read, I'm reading a little short book, but this is the next one, La Sabiduría de los Lobos. I'm gonna learn about wolves and like their hunting strategies and all that kind of stuff. Try to expand my vocabulary. So trying to up the level of rigor in terms of what I'm reading. So this is my next book. So I enjoy reading also. Again, it's all a matter of finding the time as an adult. If I was like 17, man, I would be on fire with the Spanish. So I wouldn't put that Xbox controller down that I used to play a lot and be studying, reading, and doing all that. But we're adults. We have lives to live. So I've been to the Dominican Republic, and I sort of get what you mean in terms of individuality and community. I feel like in places like the DR, there's more community based. That's a great point, Elijah, and that's something that is also motivating me to move. Because outside of like small towns in the US, outside of small towns, and outside of like subcultures that value this, I don't think in the United States, on average, right, we value that like community. And again, all this stuff to me, maybe 2 years ago, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, but when you travel and you see like, oh, in Colombia, like it's kind of, I mean, somebody could get depressed, but it's kind of hard to like suffer from depression that's triggered by isolation. Why? Because it's a super like familiar like a culture based on family. You go outside and you see people all the time. If I were to go outside, and if you watch, there's a YouTuber that I watch called Life with David. He travels, like he lives in Colombia. He talks about this. If sorry, drinking that coconut water. If I were to go out where I live in the suburbs of Atlanta and walk, people would think one of two things. I'm either just not by how I'm dressed, but because I'm walking, they would think he's either homeless, he doesn't have a car, his car broke, his car broke down, something like that, something like that. You know what I mean? And so it's just different. It's different. It's different. I think I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here, but hopefully that made sense. See, Andre. See. I'm waiting for you to answer this. Do you know the Lord question? I was able to say good night, but I gotta go. See. Lo conozco. See. Um, Andre, please keep your beliefs to yourself. I get it, but it's not right to say this thing. The best conversation are with you, bro. Muchas gracias, Jose. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nakema, I agree. I was just up in Gwinnett a few, maybe an hour and a half before this live stream, but the problem up there I feel like is like because Gwinnett is such a mix, like it's such a mix, right? I don't know if people are used to people speaking to them in Spanish. So like I've had good experiences up there, like definitely good experiences, but I don't know. It's just weird. Like it's just weird. I don't know, but I know exactly. I've gone up there. A lot of my videos that you've seen, like where I'm in restaurants and stuff, they're on that side of town. So yeah, I agree. I've gone up there and practiced a little bit. ¿Qué recomiendas para un estudiante de español quien está aprendiendo y quiere continuar su estudio en la universidad y más lejos en vida? ¿Quieres aprender desde cero o quieres meterte o sea, empezar un programa en una universidad o qué? Orpix, ¿qué quieres hacer? ¿Qué quieres hacer? What podcast do you recommend for beginners? How to Spanish, Hustle Vision, How to Spanish, and No hay tos, no hay tos. How to Spanish and No hay tos. Those like two Mexican podcasts, but they're great. I started with those. I have the exact same problem. Okay. How can I find someone to help me venture around in Peru or another America in South? Okay, I want to travel over there and participate. Brandon, that's a great question, man. That's the key question. I personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went after like the age of like I think I took a trip to LA, like Los Angeles, by myself. And I met one person in LA. I met this like old, like I was riding a bike like up through Malibu, and I met this old Jewish like movie producer, and like I met him, and he showed me around like Malibu. And up until I met him in my trip to LA, I was like, I don't like LA, like I don't want to come back to LA. But the problem was, it was not LA. It was that I was by myself exploring LA. Once this guy showed me around, I started to enjoy LA. I say that to say, a lot of times, like it's super important to have somebody with you to show you around, especially someone there. So even like right now, I'm not going to take a trip to some. Sorry, let me slow down. I'm not speaking correctly. I'm not going to take a trip if I don't know somebody in that place. If I don't meet somebody, I know it sounds like, really, you wouldn't take a trip somewhere if you don't know? I'm not. I'm just not, because it like limits the experience. It limits you to super touristic things. It just does. So with that said, I know I'm not answering your question, Brandon. What I would do is, there's an app, like I said, called Tandem, Hello Talk, all these language exchange apps, or you can go on italki if you want to just make sure that the person is reputable. Um, just go in there and like build a relationship with somebody. You know what I mean? Like a guy, if you're a guy, Brendan, you want to meet another dude and be like, hey man, I really like to explore. You don't tell him this at first. You just start, practicing English with him, or helping him with his English, and he helps you with his Spanish. And then after you all build a decent relationship, you just say, hey man, I'm thinking about going to Costa Rica. Could you show me around? And man, in these countries, people are super nice. Even if somebody asked me to do that in Atlanta, like I would do it. So that's how I would go about doing that. And it enhances the experience so much. Like when I went to Cartagena, the uncle of my tutor, Sharon, he showed me around places that I would have not gone. Like I would not have gone there if I just gone to Cartagena by myself. So I definitely recommend that. It was great to hear, at least for a while. Buenas noches, Slawic. Appreciate that. Muchísimas gracias. Buenas noches. Que tengas una buena noche. Yeah, I'm learning Spanish. I want to learn French, so I'll take my time. Started learning Russian before you paused it. But paused it for 2 years. Wow, Helmet Chili, you're a polyglot, man. I respect that. Pantus Medellin would be cool. Okay, you like Medellin? Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing the same, Pantus. I don't know what your experience is like, in your country, but I don't know if it's the same. Could you tell me a little bit about how it is there in terms of like work culture and just community and all that kind of stuff? Thank you for answering my questions. Love what you're doing. You've shown me the love for Spanish. I used to have. I'll make sure to keep you in my prayers. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate that. Thank you. If you're heading out, I appreciate that. Hope you have a great night. That is always the issue. I've been studying Spanish for 5 years and want to start learning Tagalog with my girlfriend and family, but at the same time, want to keep improving Spanish. There's just priorities. I personally couldn't learn two languages at a time. It's just my personality. But um, if you've got the time and you've got your girlfriend to help you with Tagalog, I think you could do it. Hope to see you soon. Oh yeah, appreciate that quick tempo. I'll be here, and again, I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. The motivation, the wise words. I have some friends in Cebu City, and I learned some phrases to make sure. No, I'm not. Like, do you ever want to do a video with a woman who's motivating? Oh man, SS. I need to know what your name is, man. I need to know your name, or if you're a young lady, I don't know. Just hit by the typhoon. My prayers are with them. Yeah, out in Philippines. Yeah, having someone on the ground helps you to avoid the tourist-only areas, find the real place to get the food. Yep. It's just like if someone comes to Atlanta, I watch videos on people that travel to Atlanta, and I notice they always stay in the same areas. And I'm like, man, if you had somebody to show you the real, like, different parts of Atlanta, it improve your trip a lot. Where you plan on going to next? I'm gonna visit Costa Rica or Panama, but I think I'll spend the summer in Peru. Okay, guys, I'm noticing that if we're still here, if you have any other questions, let me know. If not, I mean, I'm fine staying. I just want to make sure I'm supporting you all with any questions that you have. So if you have any other questions, let me know. If not, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. I'm from New York. When I spoke more Spanish, where I spoke more Spanish, now living here in Hampton, Georgia, I find the most Latinos I've come across. Yeah, John. Yeah, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Yeah, it's weird down here, right? It's like I don't know if it's, and I try to have empathy, right? I don't know if it's like, it's viewed as an insult. Like, you don't think I can speak English? Like, I don't know if that's what it is down here in Georgia, or if it's because the population is not as large as in New York. I don't know what it is, but I know exactly what you mean. I'm not close to Hampton, but I'm not super far either. So I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. It only works, Jaina, I think. I feel like it only works if they only speak Spanish. At that point, they're happy, like they're thankful. But if they're bilingual or learning English, with barely, even with broken English, they want to speak in English, and I get it. But sometimes I find like it's like mal visto. It's like viewed poorly for some reason. I don't know why. Thank you, Jesus. You have a great night too. Did you only use the Madrigals book? No, Hustle Vision. I used some others. I think I threw away some of the others. I think. No, I have one right here. I used this book also. No Nonsense Spanish Workbook. No Nonsense Spanish Workbook. I used that. And then I haven't mentioned this book, but let me see. I also used this one. Did I finish this one? I did. Yeah. I use this book also. What is this called? Intermediate Spanish Grammar. All this stuff you can find on Amazon. Okay, Amazon. All right, so yeah, so I use those to study and learn the language, and then from there, it was just the reading for the most part, reading books. Um, where are we at, Chris? How do you handle the dips in motivation? 6 months into learning Spanish, I can comprehend somewhat well, but it's hard to motivate myself to study every night. Man, Chris, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. And I don't really have okay, what I mentioned earlier is like an indirect accountability partner. And what I mean by that is like my tutors, I at that point I built a very strong relationship with them, just like, where they were proud of my progress and all that kind of stuff. So I felt like I was gonna let them down if I had stopped. And so for that reason, I kept going in those times. But I know exactly what you're describing. I would just say try to think about, I don't know, all I can say to you, Chris, is man, I've really I'm so thankful that I did not quit. Like I really Spanish has changed my life. And that's not like some cheesy like, oh, you should learn the language. It's literally changed my life. Like the path of my life has been changed from me learning Spanish. So learning Spanish. And so um yeah, just fight through it. Now, again, if you just hate it, like there's nothing that's obligating us to learn a language. If you hate it, sure, but if it's just like you're losing motivation, especially after long days at work, I know what you mean. I would also say don't beat yourself up. I just recorded a video. What's it called? How I implement Spanish in my daily life. And so, if you even just listen to a podcast, like I wouldn't view the day as like, oh man, I didn't study after I got home from work. Like we're adults. It's different if we were 16, 17, and we just had all day to study. We got life and obligations and stuff. So, but I would just say, Chris, keep going, man. If you really want to learn Spanish, please don't stop. Please don't stop. It's literally changed my life. I would have never, like, again, if you would have asked me at 16, I'm gonna be honest with you. I took Spanish in high school, and how I passed Spanish, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. But yeah, just keep going. I'm rambling. Why Peru? What's good there from what you know? Just check out my Bon's ass. Check out my Peru videos, man. I really liked Peru. I like Peru a lot. And in my videos, I kind of explained the why. It's like I really liked it. Really liked it a lot. Plus, I made some good connections there with some people, so I definitely want to go back. Um, like, for example, like a couple of years ago, maybe I went to Boston. I really didn't have a desire necessarily to go to Boston, but like I had two friends that moved there for college, and I ended up enjoying it. So that's part of it too. But I really liked Peru on top of some of the relationships that I've built out there. So that's why. Ella, good luck, Mike, and all of your next adventures. Hope to continue on YouTube. Thank you, Ella. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That motivates me. It really does. I appreciate that. Would you like to write a book about your experiences in learning Spanish and what you would recommend? Condor, that's one of my New Year's resolutions. Yeah, to create a book that breaks down the Spanish stuff to the most basic level, like that makes it super easy to understand. You will, and in this book that I made, Condor, I'm not gonna use the term indirect object pronoun or none of that. Like that's not, in my opinion, it is. I can't even tell you what that is right now, and I speak Spanish, so it's just going to be a direct, like in Spanish, if you want to say this, how we speak in English is this, the equivalent to that in Spanish is this, use these endings, and now you're speaking like a direct path instead of all these grammar explanations. Of course, it's necessary to an extent, but that's the intent. So, yeah, I'm going to get that done this year, hopefully by the end of February. Hola, Ani, hola, hoy me salió en Surgencias un video tuyo, me encantó, yo soy peruano y vivo en Chile, también subo videos y mucho éxito. Muchísimas gracias, Ani, muchísimas gracias, a mí me encantó Perú y tengo las ganas de visitar a Chile también, tengo un amigo que vive allá, Andrés, entonces un día me gustaría, quizás el verano puedo ir yo sé que voy a volver a Perú, pero espero que pueda espero que pueda ir a Chile también a visitar todo lo que tiene Chile por ahí. KBC, my problems I have speaking. If I write in Spanish, I'm fine, but to recall words to speak is very difficult. How long did it take for you to think in Spanish? Oh, KBC, that's like again, people will say that happens in 6 months. I can remember after a year still translating in my brain. It's like it's just slow. Like right now, I'm fine. Like right now, I think in Spanish. Like I find myself waking up. Like I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, yo tengo sueño, todavía quiero dormir. So like right now, it's automatic, but that's after 2 years. Like so in 2 years, even saying that sounds crazy. I've been learning Spanish for 2 years. That's crazy. But But yeah, it's normal. Like if you've been learning less than a year and a half, I think that's normal. It's just over time. But I would just say, being consistent helps. My family and I are visiting Puerto Rico this summer. I want to be able to speak with them and understand people, places, and as far as I know they speak English, it'll still be cool. Yeah, Orpheus, I agree. If you saw Quick Tempo in in like the chat, he went to Puerto Rico a couple of weeks ago, and in his videos he was mentioning that because it's such it's there's such a large influence from the United States. A lot of people there speak English and they want to practice their English. So just be aware of that. So even if you're practicing, they might try to respond to you in English. How would you rate your Spanish now? Is there room for growth? Definitely, Bonzas. Definitely, definitely. I'm like, if I wanted to say like, even right now, if I wanted to say, let's break. I have a desk right here in front of me. Like, let's break down this desk. I don't know what the translation for that is. I'll say, necesitamos desconstruir, but like I'm not sure if that's actually how you say it. So yeah, definitely room for growth. But I can say like if right now if you told me, hey Michael, you're gonna go live in Spain, you're gonna go live in Mexico, you're gonna go live in whatever country, I would have no problem. Like in terms of the language. I feel that confident, honestly. But I'm not perfect at all, nowhere near. I would say like if from a grade, like from 0 to 100, I'm at like a 70. I'm barely passing, I would say 75 maybe. Classy Camille, your humility is so attractive. I moved to the Dominican Republic a month ago. I'm kicking myself for the butt for not getting fluent years ago. Yeah, Camille, I was saying earlier. Well, first off, I appreciate that, Camille. Honestly, like comments like that really helped me so much. I appreciate that. So thank you so much. But one guy brought up that there's a popular YouTuber that went to Colombia and she got robbed at gunpoint. A couple of very popular YouTuber, and but what she was saying in the video is that, and I'm not making this negative, like, robberies and all that aside, just enjoying the country. We can bring that up. But my point is, it's a survival thing, I think. You know what I mean? So, no need to kick ourselves in the butt. You just start now. You know what I mean? Like, I regret not taking Spanish serious in high school, but hey, just decided to learn it. So, especially since you're there and you're in the environment, I take advantage of it for sure. But yeah, I think it's like a necessity. It's like a necessity. I think it just improves the experience so much. Um, Helmet, chili. I used Duolingo for Spanish early on, then realized it's sort of limited. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't like Duolingo. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's a waste of time, I think. I have a big problem. Where we at? Where we at? Wait. I have a pretty big problem understanding spoken Spanish. My speaking, writing, reading, all are decent, but my listening needs some work. I feel a bit stuck in the moment. The thing is, like, reading helps with listening because, like, if you understand words that you're reading, it's easy to pick it out. Now, if it's the accents part, that I understand. Like that, I understand. That just takes time. Like for example, the Cuban accent, man, that was tough at first. Tough at first. I couldn't understand what they were saying. Dominican accent, same thing. But it's over time exposing yourself to it. You can start to understand it. But you got to consider also like some stuff you're not supposed to understand. Like I'll show some videos that I watched to some of my, like I might show a video of some Dominicans to some of my Colombian friends, and they'll be like, "Mike, I'm gonna be honest. Te voy a ser honesto. No sé ni siquiera sé qué están diciendo." So like sometimes they don't even know. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. I have family in Panama, and they couldn't even get me learning Spanish before finding my channel. Wow, I appreciate that, Helmet. Honestly, I do. Thank you. Thanks for the advice. No problem, Chris. No problem, Chris. Where are you from up north? Where are you from up north? I like for some reason lately I've been fascinated with New York. Me and my brother have been learning a lot about New York and New York culture and all that. I've been fascinated with New York lately. Spanish in high school is way too slow for someone that actually wants to speak Spanish. Agreed, agreed. Pretty simple to get an A. I agree. Currently self-studying for the AP Spanish exam to improve my Spanish. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Orpheus, definitely. Yeah. It doesn't help that sometimes people that are teaching you Spanish, if you're not learning from a native speaker, two dilemmas here. Like if you're learning from a native speaker that doesn't know how to teach it, that's a problem, obviously. And then if you are learning from a non-native speaker that can't even speak Spanish, they learned it from a textbook but can't even communicate or stand their own in a Spanish speaking country, that's its own problem there. So I get your point. But good luck on that AP exam. I wish I could go back. Excuse me. I wish I could go back and take AP Spanish if I had that. But it's just, timing, life pulls you in different ways. You've been a great inspiration. Thank you, Emmanuel. I found your videos last year and your study tips have been useful. You're right about jumping in and just trying to speak early. All the best of luck to you. Thank you, Emmanuel. I really appreciate that. Honestly, man. Comments like that help me so much. I appreciate that. And good luck on your Spanish journey. Buenísimo. Muchísimas gracias, Ani. Muchísimas gracias. Why is it so awkward to always ask the same question in Spanish the same way every time? It's annoying to say, hola, ¿cómo está? Brandon, I know what you mean. You know what you can do? It's like they've got different ways to say it, though. Just like In English, if you always say, "Hey, how are you? How are you?" You say, "How you doing? How have you been? What's going on? What's up?" Same thing happens in Spanish. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo va todo? ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué tal? I like ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? For some reason, it depends on where you are in Dominican Republic. ¿Qué lo que? They have different like ways of asking that, but I know exactly what you mean, and I find myself in my classes doing that, like "Hola, cómo estás?" And it's always the same response. What accents do you find hard to understand still? Right now, Hustle Vision. If I had to tell you one, hmm, that's a good question. It would be I don't know. I don't know. I really understand most of them. If I had to say something though, it would be Argentina because they use Voss. But I understand them for the most part. It just sounds a little different. It just sounds a little different. So that would be the hardest. Like if you ever host a meetup in ATL, then I'll be there. Okay, Charles, I'm gonna hold you to that. I have to sign off for the night. But okay, no problem, Charles. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. Look, even those of you that are here, I appreciate this. Like I really do. So thank you for coming, and I'll definitely get on. I've got some homework. You all told me make an Instagram. I'm on it, and possibly do a meetup so we all can help each other. I'm on it. Yeah, quick tempo. I think he checked out. Orpheus, I think he checked out. I love the idea of direct plan to learn Spanish without complicating things. Yep. Thanks for your very encouraging videos. Thank you. Naturally motivated lady. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like sometimes I'm editing these videos and I'm like, is this, and I say it a lot in the videos because I genuinely don't know. I'm like, is this gonna really help people? So like getting confirmation of that from your comments, it really helps. I appreciate that so much. Have you ever pretended not to know English just to mess with people? No, I pretended to not know Spanish though. Like, mm, not English. No, not English. I thought about it though, Jack. I had thought about it, but not English. No. Mm-mm. But Spanish, yeah, I've acted like I didn't know and just kind of listening to what people were saying. Dope. Congrats. Thank you, Bonzaz. I love asking people, do you know Spanish when I'm done with the conversation? Yeah, yeah. My response is adios. Right. Okay, Jana, I learned in the streets of NY early in life. It changed my life because I became a translator. My job of helping people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. New York's a different culture. I would like to visit New York and practice Spanish. Yeah, just understanding the rate at which people are saying the words and the accents are quite hard to understand, especially because high school listening. I emphasize much at all. Yeah, for sure, Orpheus. And that's where I know it's tough because you've got other classes in high school and you've got things to do, but that's where like instead of in the morning if you're in your parents car or you're driving or you're on the bus, instead of listening to an album I would just be listening to a podcast. Like look, I would just play. De ser al personificarlo de esa manera no es burlarnos. No, no, para nada. No, no, no. Es una manera de ser empático. I would just be listening to that, or that's what I would do. That's what I do now. It's a sacrifice, but hey, you know what I also thought? Like I thought at one point, like I'll miss out on like my own culture, like culture in the United States. I haven't missed a thing. Like kind of don't even want to go back to listening to some of the stuff I used to listen to now that I'm entrenched in the culture. So yeah, try that. But I know exactly what you're describing. My husband is Puerto Rican. He suggested we move to PR, immerse myself in the culture there, but I feel that would be depressing. Thoughts, Marine? Why do you think it would be depressing? Is it you don't have an interest of living there, or do you think it will be depressing not understanding in the beginning? What part of it would be depressing to you? It just depends on where you are in Spanish. For me, it might be exciting, but it just depends if you like where you are, where you're living now. It just depends. Thank you for everything. I bought the Spanish Yellow Book. You told us to get about 8 months ago, and sometimes I can speak Spanish to people at my job and they smile. Facts, man. Or man or young lady, I appreciate that. Honestly, I really do. Thank you for that. I know you're thanking me, but I thank you for that. Again, when I started this channel, I was just documenting my progress, and the fact that it's helping so many people is really crazy. One of my tutors just told me that, but I didn't believe her. She was like, "You're really helping people," and I was like, "Really?" I just kind of upload what I think would have helped me. I didn't know I was helping so many people, so I'm glad this has helped you. Do you know why some native speakers cut off that's at the end of the words in Spanish? Orphix. That's a good question. I think it's just like just different ways of speaking, right? Like a Southern American accent or U.S. accent just sounds different. Like somebody from Louisiana sounds different than somebody from Boston. So it's just, I think that's just what it is. The etymology, like the reason why, the origins why, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Taylor, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Gracias a ti. Gracias a ti por mandarme ese mensaje. Very proud of you. Okay, Jana. All right, I'm gonna hold you to that. If we do have that meetup, I'll be looking forward to meeting you there. I just wanted to thank you for visiting Peru. I'm truly happy you had a good experience. Yes, Geraldine, I loved Peru, like so much so I was mentioning earlier that I'm most likely gonna go back in at the end of May this year, stay for like 2 months, possibly visit some other countries while I'm down there, but I definitely plan on going back. I really enjoy Peru, really enjoy Peru, like really enjoyed Pro. I liked it a lot. Well, my classes have actually just moved online, so I've just had much more time to practicing building up that vocab, watching movies, speaking. Yeah, so you have a that's something that helped me also. It sounds bad and like dark and cruel because of we had the quarantine and COVID, but COVID, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I shouldn't say that on YouTube, but that actually helped me. Like it actually helped me be. And that sounds bad, not the disease, but I'm saying the quarantine because I had time to sit and study. At home, I was forced to sit there with my books and study. So that's, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I know you would probably like to be back in school, but you can practice at home now that you have time. Really enjoyed your videos and following your learning journey. The travel videos were great. Best of luck with the future. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I hope to keep uploading videos. I know in my last video I said I might be done, but like stuff like this, you all showing up for this, like even before this started, I'm like, is anybody gonna even show up? And within 5 seconds, I had people there. So I can't stop knowing that all of you are getting so much value from the videos. Or fix, yeah, SS. Thank you for the help on that one. Shauna, I moved to Costa Rica 2.5 years ago. My Spanish is trash. I need to get motivated. Shauna, how are you liking Costa Rica? How do you like it? And definitely, we talked about it earlier. I hate to keep bringing up the same thing, but I think in a lot of countries, like having Spanish is like a survival skill. It just it improves the living experience, but also like just from survival, I think is a necessity. So I'm glad you're here, and hopefully you can pick up any tips that I can offer to help you get your journey started. How did you keep practicing speaking when you had nobody to speak to? KBC. What happened? I got lucky again. iTalki used to have a feature where you could just like meet people, like the same way these other apps have like Hello Talk and all these other apps have ways where you can meet people. iTalki had that also. So I don't know if you saw, if you were here earlier, one of my language exchange partners, Luisa, I met her on iTalki. I have another friend that was in a video early on named Arlen. He's from Colombia. I met him there. It's like we would just exchange each week English and Spanish. And so that's how I would do that. But again, I would just go to Tandem right now is your best bet in terms of like not finding, crazy people and all that. Go to Tandem and just try to meet some people that have a decent English level and see if you can do a little intercambio exchange with them. What's good English? What's good, Mike? Where to go? I really appreciate your videos. I appreciate that. What's good English? A lot of times I don't say it, but I watch you guys' videos also. Like when you comment, I click on your videos and watch them. So I really appreciate your videos also. I think I saw a couple of your videos and I really liked them. They were really interesting. So I appreciate that coming from you. Honestly, I appreciate that. Do you know any friends locally who found your videos and decided to learn a language? Helmet, no. Actually my students at my school. Like I told you, I teach 8th grade math, and my students found my videos, and so a couple of them watch and like they tell me that their parents watch to learn Spanish. And then actually the real estate agent that bought me this house, he saw me speaking Spanish one day when some contractors were out in one neighborhood, and he started watching them. So friends locally, yeah, but the problem, like we're all kind of in our niche, right? We're all looking to learn Spanish or learning a language. A lot of my friends, my close friends, they don't have an interest in learning a language. Like some of them, like they like to travel, but they want to go to Las Vegas. They want to go to California. They don't have an interest in even going to Mexico, like to Cancun. They could care less. So they don't watch. If they do watch, they just watch out of support for me. They don't really watch because they have an interest in learning the language. But I do have some people that do, and my students actually watch. Do you have anyone? Okay, I read that. All right. Yeah. What's good English? It sounds kind of dark, I guess, but it did. The lockdown, let's say, it did help. What airlines do you use to travel to South America? Should I purchase all-inclusive package for it? I want to make the best first experience out of the U.S. experience and non-touristic. Brandon, so I say first step is meet somebody somehow. And what your family will say is this, oh, here we go. What your family will say, Brandon, and what a lot of people will say, even my friends have told me this, like, man, you don't know these strangers, man. These people are trying to like chop you up and put you in the freezer. Again, we got to have some street smarts and some some personal radars that we use to make sure that we're not meeting up with a crazy person. But like if someone is fairly normal, you have been talking to them for 4 months, 5 months, make a connection that way. I would not book anything all inclusive. I go with Delta a lot of times just because I'm in Atlanta, and Delta's a big airline here. It's one of the biggest airports, and Delta's one of the biggest airlines here. So I go with Delta a lot of times. But I just personally, I used to travel with Spirit a lot. I try to avoid Spirit because of the reputation. But nah, I don't view flights as like a luxury experience. I go to sleep anyway. So I would just book a flight, cheapest flight or most convenient price with the most convenient airline for you. I normally go with Delta or American, but either way works. Within the countries, I could answer that question if you have that, because if you want to visit multiple countries, sorry, multiple cities within the countries, there's specific airlines that I go with. But yeah, there's a Colombian airline called LATAM, I think, that I use. But yeah, meet somebody first. I can show you the areas. Sometimes I go to Omega to practice. Orpix, I like Omega, but the problem is like you get on there and you'll meet some like 14-year-old with his shirt off, like doing backflips on a trampoline. And I just don't have time sometimes for that. But I know what you mean. Yeah. I wish you the best, Mike. Your videos are great inspiration. Just having visited half the places you did, I would feel like the luckiest person in the world. A big wow, Condor. Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias. En serio, en serio. Y si te digo la verdad, para mí es una locura también. Los países con los cuales yo he visitado, para mí es como, yo nunca pensaba antes de aprender el español que yo iba a visitar a todos los países que he visitado. Entonces es una locura para mí también, pero muchísimas gracias. Y como te dije, un día visitaré a Argentina, 100%, te digo, 100%. It's pretty unpredictable, but can definitely help. Yeah, yeah, Orpheus agree. So excited to hear you still post. You're such a blessing. Just got it going online and listening to you while working at the end of the day. Such a help. Maureen, I appreciate that. And I mentioned that earlier. That's what I hope my videos do. I'm not really making videos a lot of times to entertain. Like, it's really, I like, because I value my time a lot. And so I try to view my videos from the perspective of you all. I'm thinking, you all value your time as well. So at the end of, like, sometimes you watch a YouTube video and at the end, it like drained your energy. Like, you feel like I just wasted my time, or like, and then sometimes you watch a YouTube video and it feels like, wow, it's like motivating, or fills you with knowledge, or fills you with something positive. And I can really sense that when I watch YouTube. And so my hope is that I'm on the good side of that when I upload videos. So comments like that, Marine, are really amazing. Honestly, I appreciate it so much. I do. They motivate me to keep making videos, honestly, because life gets in the way at times, but it motivates me to prioritize making videos. Or if I made a video or two about Puerto Rico. Yeah, I was telling them a quick tempo to check out your videos. Guys, just click on his channel. He made a full, like, I think almost 6 videos. I watched them all about Puerto Rico, about the experience of Spanish, where you could go, like how to avoid the tourist stuff. Like, check out his videos. He did a lot of stuff out there with his wife. So check it out. Like, so much so that they're even speaking Spanish with some people in live videos. So check it out. I would view, like, the same way I make those videos on Peru and different cities. He did some things similar to that. That gives you a complete breakdown if you wanted to go there, what to expect. I use COVID lockdown for personal growth too. Yeah, Miriam. And Miriam, I thank you for that. Again, when I do super chats for other people, I know that they're providing me value. So that's like the hugest compliment for you to donate that. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Miriam. But yeah, it's I agree that the lockdown unfortunately was a negative situation, for a lot of people. But we all should, I think, try to make positives out of negative situations. And so I'm glad I did that, and I'm glad you do that as well. And I think a lot of us here that are on this channel started that way. You know what I mean? I just so happened to start right before it started in January, but 2 months after, it forced me to focus because I had the time. I'm late to the live, but what country are you planning to move to? Shane or Sean, I haven't decided that yet, but I know I really liked Peru. So here's the plan. I want to visit Costa Rica and Panama as like a joint thing. Like, I want to visit both because they're pretty close. So I don't know when I'll do that. I'll do that either in February or April. But I know for sure it's like 90% that I'm going to go back to Peru at the end of May, early June, and stay there for 2 months. So I'm not sure if I'll go to Peru first, like settle down there, and then take my stuff and visit Panama and Costa Rica. But those are the next 2 spots. Most likely. Again, before I was saying that Mexico was the spot before Peru, and then something changed and I went there. Some kind of not impulsive in like a animalistic way, but like my mind changes a lot, as you all can probably see from how I contradict myself so much in my videos. But yeah, that's the plan. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna spend the summer in Peru. When I went to Brazil, everyone said it was super dangerous, but it was mad chill when I was there. If you seek trouble, you find it. What's good English? I think we have to be careful with, man, is and you know this, we got to be careful who we're getting advice from, right? Because I know people that if I tell them, people that are from Atlanta will know this. If I tell them I'm going to South DeKalb Mall, I don't frequent South DeKalb Mall, right? But if I said to them I'm going to South DeKalb Mall, they would think I had a death wish, right? They would think I had a death wish, but I have no problem going there. I know some of you that are not from Atlanta would know that, but that's like that area has a reputation of being dangerous. But if you go there, mind your business, handle your business, and leave, nothing will happen to you unless there's just a random incident, right? And so if I'm reading a forum or if I'm watching a video from somebody that in the United States would tell me that they wouldn't go to that area because it's super dangerous. Da, da, da. They may not have the same wits in terms of like how to, make sure you're not staring at somebody in public because they have a weird tattoo, or make sure you're not walking around with a watch, or make sure that you're walking around with some kind of purpose about you and you're not walking around looking like you're like just waiting to get robbed or something. So I agree. I think I can't, there's a fine balance because there's some people that go and just say there's no danger. Like, no, there's danger for sure, but I do think it's overblown. Like, I think in any case where you see a lot of times those robberies and stuff, it's just like somebody's being flashy, or somebody's not. Sorry, let me cut that off. Or somebody's not she's not taking precautions, right? Like, again, I just move in other countries the same way I would move in a quote unquote dangerous neighborhood in the United States. And luckily nothing has happened to me. If you all want, I can tell you a story though of how I felt like I almost got robbed. I can tell you that if you all would like to hear it. If you would, just let me know in the chat. If not, let me know. I know here I'm we're talking Spanish in particular. So, but I can tell that story if you'd like me to. I did feel like at one point, only one time in my travels, have I felt like I was going to get robbed. It was an interesting story, but I won't tell it if we don't want to hear it. But if you all do want to hear it, I can definitely let you know. Um, I know a friend, 21 years. She's traveled to many countries, most in Latin America, all due to her learning Spanish. Yeah, that Spanish is the tool that's more powerful than una arma. It's more powerful than a weapon in terms of your safety. All right, I think so. I'll give you an example. Right, when I landed in the airport in Peru, when all those taxistas start screaming at you like, "Hey, taxi, taxi, taxi," and when you respond to like, "No, estoy bien, todo tranquilo, estoy bien," their faces are like, "What? This dude speaks Spanish? Like, where's he from? He's from Colombia or something? Like, he's not a random tourist. Like, why does he know Spanish and why does he sound like that? So it's a defense. It's somewhat of a defense for you. Or if somebody's screaming like, "No debe estar acá, hermano." If you don't hear that, you don't know what that is. You hear that from some old guy in a building. You don't hear that. You don't understand that. You're putting yourself in danger. So I agree. That language, it really arms you with protection. I had conversations with teachers on iTalk. I recorded them. When I listened to them again, I realized that my Spanish was terrible. Have you gotten into that situation? Yeah, yeah. Uh, on Vu, yeah. Some of the videos on my channel, I can't even watch them because it's like, oh, you sound so bad. Like, it's so cringy. So I get that for sure. I definitely get that. I know exactly what you mean. Like, literally videos on this channel. Like my first video where I had that beanie on. When I watched it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you sounded so bad, like horrible. So I definitely get that. It's a part of the process. Even now, I make mistakes in my most recent videos. I'm like, what? You sound like an idiot, man. What's wrong? How's your family, friends reacting to you learning Spanish? Alicia, mixed. Like in the beginning, none of them thought I was serious. They all think that like they all thought like, oh, this is just a phase. Because in life, I've tried different things. Like, you all don't know this, but I have a very popular guitar YouTube channel. I used to play guitar. Like, I used to play guitar really well, but I gave it up because I got bored with it. And like, I used to play basketball, stopped playing basketball. I used to skateboard, stopped doing that. I used to do a lot of things. Like, I'm always interested in new hobbies. And so my parents thought like, oh, this Spanish thing is just like a phase for him. Like, he's just this little phase. But now, like, all of my friends, like my friends now have an interest in at least understanding a little bit of Spanish. My family's all impressed by it. I don't get any negative responses. The only thing is, unfortunately, because we're brainwashed in the United States, when I tell them like I have the desire to leave the country or visit another country, they've been filled with propaganda from the news, right? So they only think in robos, or like the negative things a lot of times. Not always, not all of them, but that's the only thing I can say. But in terms of learning Spanish at all, they thought it was a phase. Now they see like I can speak, and they support me in all of it. They kind of just mind their business, really. I can't say they support me per se. They just mind their business. So just so it's clear, the audio and subtitles should be in your target language. Right now, I'm listening to competitions and stuff. I would, yeah. SS, yeah. Orphix, yeah, I agree. Gringo de 67 años, aquí tratando de aprender español. Gracias por motivarme. Dan, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's never too late. It's never too late. And I think, that Spanish, just learning any language, they say fights off Alzheimer's, all that kind of stuff. I mentioned that in one of my videos. It's not just for travel and all that. This is a healthy thing to do, like for your body, biologically, learning a language. So I salute you, and best of luck to you in your journey. And before you know it, at 69, you'll be speaking Spanish, and you've got the rest of your life to use the language and get that experience. Berto, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your videos also. I watched your video series in the Dominican Republic. I saw some of your videos. Again, I tell you guys, when you all comment, I watch it. I click on your channels and watch your videos. So I've seen your videos out in the Dominican Republic, and I also saw one of your videos trying tacos, vegan tacos out in Los Angeles. So I appreciate you being here. Hopefully your Spanish is improving. I saw that it was in your videos in Dominican Republic. So thank you for being here, hermano. Research border crossings in Central America before you go. So like it can be tricky. However, with Spanish skills, you will be less apt to get them right now. Yeah, Miriam, explain to me what you mean by that in particular. KBC is quite inspiring. Sorry, I can read. I promise. Inspiring. Seeing what you're planning for your life and learning Spanish makes you wonder what's in store for me. KBC, I promise, man. I promise. It's like it's just changing my life. It's literally changing my life, and it's almost so much where it's like, is this seriously about to happen? Like, am I seriously considering leaving the United States? Like I never was thinking about this as a kid. Like I wasn't one of those kids that was just like thinking about like, man, when I graduate, I'm gonna go live and explore the world. I wasn't thinking like that. Like I just wasn't. Like I was thinking about, I was thinking about Little Bow Wow and like the Backstreet Boys and like Drake and Coldplay. I wasn't thinking about this stuff, man. I wasn't thinking about being a traveler and living in another country. So it's impressive what Spanish can do. I appreciate that. Are there any languages you know besides English and Spanish? No, just English and Spanish. Mm-mm. Oh, y'all. Okay, the story. The story. Sorry, the story. Okay, so again. Colombia is a safe country. Even in the quote unquote unsafe areas, I felt safe. But my tutor, when I went to Colombia, my tutor, she and her three friends took me to the center of Bogota, Colombia, right? Now I have other online friends that tell me that live in Bogota that tell me like I never go to Centro, like I never go there. We went, I felt safe. Like before we entered, she was like, make sure now, like an idiot, guys, like an idiot, and this is what you should not do. I did not follow my own advice. I walked around with an iPhone 11 last year in the center. They say never to do that, but I had it in my pocket, so they didn't know. But either way, we're walking, we're passing through. We get through the center. Some people are looking, you know what I mean? But it's just like normal looks that even you would get in a quote unquote dangerous area in the United States. So no problem. But we leave and we start walking down this hill that's kind of isolated. Like there's an area in the center where it's like a bunch of people. And then there's like a little hill down there in the center of Bogota that's like isolated. And so, guys, there's like a group of like four dudes. I'm not judging, right? But they had the look of like they were up to like they were up to no good. And they look, they sit like they're standing up, one sitting on a car. They look over at me by myself, three other girls just kind of laughing, playing, like not paying attention to their surroundings. And again, I tell my tutor this all the time. She's like, no, Michael, no te preocupes, no te iba a pasar nada. But she wasn't even aware of it. Like, I don't care if she's Colombian or whatever. Like, I can sense, because it's not like I sense trouble all around Colombia, but I can sense when a guy is like, has some ill intentions. And so they were like tapping each other, like, hey, look over there, like, look over there, like, that looks like an easy problem, like an easy lick, so to speak, so to say. And so that was the only time because we were completely isolated. Like two of the guys looked like they were like drugged out of their mind. The other two looked like they were just like up to no good. And again, it's not me judging. It was just a feeling. You know, a lot of people when they go through an experience like that, they're like, I could feel like before it was about to happen. Luckily, I kind of just like, I think I just kind of, to be honest, I kind of just took my mask off and like looked over there, like kind of like like I looked at them like I'm aware of like this vibe that you all are giving off, and then we quickly like turned the corner and went away. But in that moment, I was like, yeah, it's time. I'm about to lose this iPhone. I'm not gonna like fight back or argue. I'm just gonna give it to him. So that was the only time, but like that wasn't even like anything even close. It was just like a feeling. So yeah, that was a story. But other than that, like I felt super safe, super safe. And I think if we were all walking with more like focus, it wouldn't have happened. It's just like they were all just like laughing, playing, joking, and so I think that's what influenced it. Please share travel stories, help all of us travelers. Any travel questions, let me know. I'm approaching 2 hours again. If you all want me to stop, let me know. I want to bore you. I don't want to just keep going, but I want to make sure I'm answering your questions. But if you have any travel questions, let me know. Mike, you've caused some friction in my marriage because my Puerto Rican wife stays hitting me with the mic speaks. Ah, shit, that's funny. That's that's funny. That's funny. That's hilarious, actually. I apologize indirectly for the problems, but she's kind of right. Get on it. Get on your Spanish. No, I'm joking. But that's funny. That's funny. Okay, starting italki after years of self-study showed me that a lot of my Spanish learning is passive. Yeah, I agree, Mary. Yeah, I'm glad you started though. My most popular video is an hour-long conversation. I subtitled it, so I had to listen to all the mistakes I made. Right. What's good English? Yeah, it helps. It helps. It does. You have a video that breaks down your study time. How do you best maximize 1 hour of study? Lori, I don't in particular, but I can do that. I can do that. That's what I need. Like ideas like Lori's, that helps me a lot. That helps. Like I literally write that down. I'm gonna watch this video back to get other ideas, so I'll write it down then. But that helps. I can do that. I can do that. Specifically breaking down when I sit down to study. What am I doing? I can definitely do that. Have you chosen a dialect or are you sticking with the neutral Spanish? Carlito, I'm sticking with neutral Spanish. And the reason for that, I'm not taking a shot at anybody, but being born in the United States, I personally find it weird and inauthentic. I'm not saying this is inauthentic in general, but I personally find it weird and inauthentic if someone like that's a native Spanish speaker started talking to me with like a Southern Atlanta accent. I would find that a little weird and inauthentic and somewhat insulting to an extent. You know what I mean? And so that's why I have not gone into the whole like, "Ay, we," o sea, yeah, yeah, and like trying to act like I'm speak like I'm Mexican or speak like I'm Colombian. Como, ay, parce, cómo te va? ¿Cómo se va usted? I try to avoid that. Like I want it to be clear, like I'm a guest here, not somebody that is trying. I don't know. That might just be a personal like authenticity thing with me, but that's why I'm gonna stick with neutral Spanish. Depending on who I'm talking to, I might use the slang from their country, but it won't be like where I'm trying to act like I have a Peruvian accent or a Colombian accent or Argentinian accent. It's just not my personal. It doesn't sit well with me personally. Again, I respect the people that can do that though. Getting a good list of content creators I can sub to good stuff. Okay, Helmet Chili. Yeah. If you want me to shoot off something I have, I can do that. So people are just afraid of anyone who is different, race, economic status, etc. I feel safer in South America than I do in many parts. SS. I want to make sure I'm not I want to make sure I'm not like um what's the word? Not idolizing, but like say I don't want to view everything as like the grass is greener, but I found the same thing. I found the same thing. It says I found the same thing, and the reason why is because again in the South, if I go to Walmart tomorrow, I'm going to see, and I live in a safe part of Metro Atlanta. I'm going to see a lot of people with guns on their hips. I'm going to see that. Like I will. I'm. It's I know in the city of Atlanta that if I get into I don't argue with random people, but if I were to get into an argument with somebody because they hit my car, I'm 99.9% positive that they have a gun in their car, and a basic argument could turn into like death. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you all seen a video up in Pennsylvania, like last year, I think, year before, there was like a crazy shooting where a neighbor came out and just shot his neighbors because they were screaming at him. It's just like I don't know. It's just safety is all relative, and it's just a matter of how you perceive it. But I agree. I agree. I agree. I can't say I feel necessarily safer because I can't lie and say that I'm not aware that like at any point somebody could ask me to try to get my phone or something like that. I'm aware that that's a possibility there, but just like a random argument turning into death or like random shooting, like I told you, I go into work and I'm aware every day that if I hear screaming in the hallway like that's like abnormal, I'm prepared to lock my door, put the cover up, and hide the students in my room because there's a possibility of a school shooting. So yeah, it's just all relative. Berto, yeah, man, I love your videos. Honestly, I really do appreciate you all. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully, my videos are helping with your Spanish. What's the guitar channel name? Did you teach some basics on it? I have plans to learn. Bonzats, it's called what's it called? MTB Music. MTB Music. I haven't uploaded there in like 3 years, but I used to do that. Yeah, MTB Music. MTB Music. I've learned the language for 4 months now. I feel stuck. I don't know what to do, how to do next. I don't know how to get through this situation. Please give me some advice. Hound Vu, what are you struggling with? Like what makes you feel stuck? Depends on what it is. I would recommend that you start reading children's books. It just depends on what you feel stuck with. If it's with speaking, I would say go ahead and start speaking. Just depends on what you feel stuck with. Send me a message about what you feel stuck with here in the chat if you can. Can you bring out your guitar on the stream if you have it? I sold it. Sweet Roll Tacos. I sold it. Yeah, I just don't have an interest in it. If I could sing Sweet Rolled Tacos, I would continue to play guitar, but I just found it boring just to play songs here without a singer or without being able to sing. What's good English? I was talking about it earlier in the stream, but not right now. Not right now. I don't feel like I would learn another. I want to learn another language right now. Portuguese will be the next, but in the future, long term. We sold our house here in Orlando, and we're moving to Puerto Rico later this year. So people are doubting us as well, but they don't see our vision. Sid, I agree. I think that's unfortunate. You know what it is? You can't show some people are not even aware. I said we can be honest. Some people unfortunately think if you're not in the United States, you're living like just living a below standard of living. That's what a lot of people think. And so it's like they can't even imagine why you would leave one of the most popular cities, in terms of quality of life and all that in the United States to go live in Puerto Rico. It's just unfortunate that people just haven't been exposed enough to understand like it's not. I don't know. I know that feeling because if I mention to anybody that I know, like I'm thinking about moving internationally, I hear their questions, and their questions are based on their questions. I can tell their mentality about other countries, and so yeah, hope the move works out. I not hope. I know the move will work well for you. I know thousands of people are moving to Puerto Rico right now, and I hope you enjoy it. Hope your Spanish improves. Um, Lori, I agreed. Yeah, trust your gut. Sebastián, muchísimas gracias. Yo hace un rato veía muchos videos de Paraguay y tengo las ganas de no vivir ahora, pero visitar ahí. También hay una comunidad de estadounidenses que están viviendo por ahí en una parte, no me acuerdo la parte, perdón, del país, pero sí, a mí me gustaría ir un día. ¿Qué es lo que me puedes decir del país? Bro, my excuses is that I'm half Cambodian and half Latino, so I speak those languages plus English. Easy to grasp other languages at a younger age, but it's been tough as I'm older. Yes, Sid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you do have a blessing in that you've got, the you've got parents that speak the language. And moving to Puerto Rico will help. Solo practicas español con solo hablando y escuchando, o también haces gramática. Julián, antes yo hacía mucha gramática, o sea, yo todavía tengo los libros que usaba. Este es un libro que usaba yo. Había muchos, ¿no? Pero ahora no, no ahora tanto no. A veces, por ejemplo, hace unos días yo hacía algunos ejercicios, pero para divertirme, o sea, para diversión, perdón, porque, o sea, a mí me gusta aprender, pero ahora mismo no, solamente leo, por ejemplo, ya les dije que tengo este libro pendiente de leer, o sea, La sabiduría de los lobos. O sea, puede ser raro, pero voy a aprender más vocabulario por esto y hablando con mis amigos y todo eso y mis profesores, eso me ayuda ahora. Ahora no hago gramática tanto. This makes so much sense. Sí, Carlitos, sí. Muchísimas gracias, la abuela, muchísimas gracias. Sí, sí, sí. En serio, sigo diciéndolo, pero usted me ha ayudado un montón, en serio, un montón. Sus comentarios son muy serviciales para mí. Border crossings. I don't think you can drive a rental car back and forth. I see, Miriam. I see. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay, I see your point. I see your point. Yeah, I'd have to just buy a flight there. Charlie, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Carlito, how are you with the subjunctive mood? It's not a problem. What the thing is, and this is why I need to make this book, Carlito, honestly. And it's not like I really don't care. Like it's not like I just need to make the book, but it'll help so much because Carlito, the subjunctive is not even hard. Like I remember when I would start learning it, and they're like, it's in this situation, in this situation. Once you learn, like, there's a little trigger. It's just a little trigger word or trigger verb that tells you, all right, you got to change the form of the verb here. See, these, like if you say es necesario que, then you use the subjunctive because what they'll tell. I can't really preach it now and explain it now, but I'm like I said, I'm gonna spend some time. I've just been super busy, but I'll spend some time writing a little PDF booklet, pamphlet, or whatever that explains that. It's not difficult, Carlito. See, if there's someone that explains it to you clearly, it's gonna be easy. I promise you. I promise. Because even it took me so long, months. I was afraid to touch it until I really like sat down and learned. Like, oh, that's it. Like it's not like some kind of mood or anything. It's just certain words that trigger it. Then it becomes easy. Still, right now I make mistakes, but it's not almost impossible. It's not. It's not. I can explain it pretty clearly. That's a great point on dialects. I live in DC, and there are a variety of nationalities, so focusing on one dialect made learning difficulty. Right, DeAndre? Right, DeAndre? Because, like I was saying earlier, like if somebody tries to say I'm going to learn Mexican Spanish, that is, I think, asking for trouble because Mexican Spanish is literally filled with slang, like filled with slang. It's crazy, and it's not like I was saying earlier. It's not like certain people use the slang. It's like the president uses the slang all the way up to people on the streets. It's like it's kind of it's unique. So I just kind of learn the language from a standard perspective. I like to understand the slang, but using it, that's not for me. No first-hand experience is my research for my Sunday trip. Okay, gotcha, Miriam. Gotcha. What materials do you use for reading practice? Paper, books, PDFs? Initially, MA PDFs from with children's books, but lately I just like hardback books because I can take this somewhere, like anywhere, you know. So like I just buy hardback books for like $10, price of a meal at Chick-fil-A. Again, if we prioritize it, we can buy the books. So, and then I just give them the Goodwill once I'm finished, or if I like them enough, I keep them. Like I keep some of these books. Like for example, I read the Four Agreements, those Cuatro Recuerdos, in Spanish, and so I still have that book because I think I might come back to it. But some books I don't come back to. So yeah. Like a lot of these other books, I threw away. Well, I didn't throw them away. I gave them the Goodwill. Your videos have helped a lot. Knowing comfortable Spanish. Wow, I appreciate that, Fitwit. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that honestly. And again, I know what you're saying thank you to me, but I thank you for commenting that. It honestly motivates me. Okay, guys, I'm at 2 hours and 30 minutes. If we still have questions, I'll keep going. But if not, I want to respect you all's time. So yeah, if you still have questions or anything, I'm here to answer them. But I don't want to live in the US either. I honestly don't feel safe in Georgia. We had 3 lockdowns in 1 month at our school a couple of months ago. I'm sure you've seen December 17th threats. Yeah, Sweet Roll Tacos. Yeah. Again, it's just all relative, right? It's all relative. All right, Asia. Yeah. Be safe out there. Definitely. And again, the thing is, it's just like the random fear of a shooting or like people, if somebody has access to a gun, if an 18-year-old can go get a gun easily from Dick's Sporting Goods, it's like that puts people on edge. So I get your point. I appreciate your channel. And again, I'm not making a political statement there, guys. I don't want y'all to think I'm like pro or against the Second Amendment. I'm just saying it's just a reality. You know what I mean? It's just a reality. I appreciate your channel. Your channel keeps me motivated in my Spanish learning journey. I'm doing Spanish with Paul program, although boring, I enjoy it. I look to you for the next steps and advice. Baharan, thank you so much. It's unfortunate that program is boring. I say stick with it. Like I said, I'm gonna. I can't say I'll come out with a program, but I'll come out with a little small resource that can help soon. Lori, your caption says, "Done with YouTube. Are you going to post Spanish videos anymore?" Yeah, Lori. I'm really in the beginning of the stream. I talked about how I'm not gonna stop. I was considering it in my last video. I was considering it just because, like I was mentioning earlier, I didn't start YouTube with the intention to be a YouTuber per se, but I'm not gonna stop. I'll keep going. Bro, you visited me. Why are you leaving YouTube? Oh, you've inspired me. Sorry. Again, I promise I can read. I don't know why I saw visited. You've inspired me. Why are you leaving? Alistair, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. That was a consideration that I had up until I read the comments from you all's most recent videos. What I was just asking and what I still ask is that you all give me some ideas. That's what I need, some ideas for videos, because like I said, I didn't start with the intention of being a YouTuber for this long. So, I'm actively thinking as well, but I just need some ideas to help me keep going. ¿Es fácil para un americano viajar a Latinoamérica o no realmente? Me refiero al costo de viaje y eso. Julian, si te digo la verdad, depende. Porque, por ejemplo, si quiero ir a Panamá, el vuelo no es el problema. O sea, el vuelo no, para un estadounidense promedio, si no tiene tantas deudas y todo eso, es como en 1 mes, 2 meses se puede ahorrar para el viaje, o sea, el avión. El problema sería cuando uno llegue, el costo de dónde uno va a quedarse, esas cosas. Pero en serio, no, ya entiendo tu pregunta, porque para muchos para muchas personas es como que, para los gringos, para estadounidenses es como fácil viajar, no es el dinero no es importante, pero sí, ahorramos para tomar esos viajes y todo eso, pero depende, amigo, porque, por ejemplo, en Colombia no es muy costoso. Perú fue un poco costoso, no tanto, pero un poco. Y si quiero viajar, digamos, a Panamá, me va a costar lo mismo que un viaje a una ciudad acá. Entonces, es como sí, pero no. Y mira, yo no soy un tacaño, pero no gasto mucho dinero y todavía, o sea, el dinero me sale. Entonces, si una persona gasta dinero sin pensar, sí, puede salir costoso, sí. Why are you leaving the country too? Alistair, I'm not leaving right now. I'm gonna take a couple of trips for a few months and see if I like anything outside, and then if I like it, yeah. But not. I'm not even gonna say for gun violence. Like gun violence can happen anywhere. I was just describing the reality of living here. I'm not saying it's good, bad, right, or wrong. Like I said, not pro or against anything. It's just the reality. You know what I mean? You can go into Dick's Sporting Goods in Georgia and buy a gun easily, no problem. And again, it's not a political statement. That's just a fact. Like, that is a fact. My shyness is getting in the way of me speaking, but you're encouraging me. Sometimes I want to give up because it's confusing. As a senior that looks like me, I'm proud of it. You're Baharian, I appreciate that. And I was looking for the same thing. I know what you're referring to there, and I was looking for the same thing. I'm glad I can be that motivation. And please don't quit, Baharian. Please don't quit, man. Please do not quit. Please do not quit. Please, I can beg you. I'm begging you. Spanish has changed my life. Please don't quit. Please don't quit. It'll be worth it. Like once you really, like after a year and you really start understanding stuff, you'll be like, thank God I did not quit. Like, thank God. I met some cool people. Like I can go to so many more countries. I can use this in my work. It opens up different jobs for me. Like I would not quit. Please don't quit. And you're starting young. You're a senior in high school or college. Either way, that's a beautiful thing. You're starting young. Gracias. Baharian, I think I'm pronouncing it right. If I had learned Spanish just 2 years earlier before I bought this house, man, it would have changed my life even more. You know what I mean? Like this house right now is a little bit of an anchor. I like it. I'm thankful that I have a place to stay and all that. But and that the value is going up and all that kind of stuff. But if I know what I know now, if I started when you're starting now, man. So please don't stop. Gracias y buenas noches. Buenas noches, Miriam. Tengo clases mañana. Okay, ya, entiendo. Hasta la próxima. At least okay, good. But yeah, aside from Spanish, I respect your hustle and work ethic, bro. I hope God continues. Thank you, Alistar. Thank you so much, and I hope the same for you. I hope He continues to bless you as well. Do you find reading aloud helps you more if I have better understanding when I just read through, but when I hear myself, yeah, definitely, Emmanuel, I read out loud. Yeah, I read out loud. Definitely, because it helps you pronounce the words, like you said. I think helps you pronounce. Is that no nonsense book any good? Honestly, that's a good question, Carlito. I wouldn't recommend it. It helped a little bit, but I wouldn't recommend it. No. I don't even think I finished. See, all this stuff, I didn't even finish this. It's like conjugation charts and all that. So no, it's not the end of the world. No. Mike, your page came up on my recommended. I started in March 2020. Super dope seeing your journey, similar to mine. Thank you, twin. Thank you. The comments like that honestly have made my night. They make my day when I read them. So I appreciate that. Hope your journey's going as well. Hope you're enjoying Spanish as well. How old were you when you started learning Spanish? What age was age slowing you down at all? No, not Bon. I can't remember. I think it was 25, maybe 25, I think. But yeah, no, I don't think age. It's just a time thing. It's just time. Like, I don't know if you saw either here earlier, there's a lady in here that's 67. That's 67 saying that she's he or she was learning at 67 years old and making progress. So no, it's just a matter of time. Julian C, voy a guardar el en vivo, sí, y subirlo. I'll save it and upload it. Video idea, with what you know now, what would you have done differently? What's good English? I uploaded one that's similar to that. And so yeah, check that one out. But I can think of some other things and upload that also. I'm a senior citizen. Gotcha, Baharian. Yeah, it's being. It's like fine still. Like I said, if you look up Steve Kaufman, this guy's impressive, man. He's learning Arabic and all these languages at 60, 70 years old. So just keep it going. And as you know, it helps fight off mental decline and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Hola, Michael. Me gustan mucho tus videos. Siempre tienen un buen mensaje. Gracias por todo. Te quiero. Saludos. Muchísimas gracias, Araceli. Muchísimas gracias. Me han preguntado muchas cosas ya, no, vamos a hablarlo, ya sabes, ¿no? I have a video idea. Tell us about the woman. No. La única diferencia es que entre tú y yo es que prefiero la meritocracia, pero gracias a Dios puedo hablar con fluidez ahora. Sí, es una bendición, hermano, sí. Y sí, ya entiendo. Y sabes que ahora mismo no todavía necesito pagar para mis clases, ¿no? No es necesario, digamos, ¿no? Porque practico muchas veces, pero sí, sigo haciéndolo porque es como que estoy agradecido por mis profesores, ¿no? Entonces, por eso sigo pagándoles, pero sí, entiendo. La forma gratis es más rentable, digamos. I just got to brush up on my grammar, man. Yeah. At this point, I don't really, think much about grammar, but I get your point. Yeah. Late to the party. Have you already talked about why you're done making videos? Sibo, yeah. It was tonto, right? When I started YouTube. Wow, you said I'm one of your favorite channels. If so, I'll watch the replay. No biggie. Wow, Sibo, yeah. Check out the replay. I really appreciate that. Honestly, like that's amazing to hear that I'm one of your favorite channels. And the reason I was saying that I possibly stop is because I did not start YouTube with the intention of making all these YouTube videos. It was just for me to document my progress. So because of that, like I'm somewhat running out of ideas. I don't want to just upload random videos that are not really useful. I like for at the end of the video for the videos to be I want the videos to fill you all with like some kind of motivation or knowledge base or something. And so if I'm not doing that, I feel like I'm not valuing you all's time. So I just need ideas. That's the whole point of titling the video like that. I just need ideas to help me continue until I can start traveling. Of course, when I'm traveling, I have access to content that way. But at this point, I think I've exhausted all the questions and doubts that I had when I started learning Spanish, and so I just need to know what you all need help with. But we talked about a lot in the playback, so if you watch the playback, I think there's some valuable things there. Can you make a video about the different uses of que in español? Yeah, Jordan, I can. The thing is, I'd like to do that in that book that I plan on. Again, it's not a book; it's like going to be like a PDF, but I like to explain that there because I don't know if I want this channel to be like, okay, en este video les voy a enseñar cómo decir esto. It's just not, I don't know. It's just not me right now. Maybe in the future, but yeah, but I can definitely put that in that resource that I plan on creating. I've got a ton of ideas for videos because I need help with many things. Lori, please, I know you gave me a great idea already, but please send them my way. That's going to help. Thanks, man. I'm glad I caught you. Thank you, Bonzas, for coming in. Thank you so much. Man, I used to upload all the time. Once I stepped away, my learning went through the roof. I'll get back, but maybe a while. Yeah, with social media to keep up with stuff. Seabolts, they gave me the other commenters gave me homework, and the homework was to create an Instagram and to create a meetup event in Atlanta. So I'm going to get on the Instagram like tonight if I have time, and I'll post that tomorrow. So I'm gonna have I don't have any social media like I never had. I know it's weird in 2022 to not have social media, but I just never have, and so I'm on that. I'll make sure to create one and put that out soon. When you do more videos during your travels, yeah, of course, Bonzas. Like I said, Panama, Costa Rica, and Peru are the plans for this year. ¿Vas a hacer streams más frecuentemente? Julian, yo puedo, sí, puedo. No sé si les van a servir esos en vivos, pero si les sirven, sí, claro, claro. Esta es la primera vez y no sabía que les iba a gustar, pero si quieren, sí, claro que sí, claro que sí. Estoy muy, o sea, me impresionó toda la gente que estaba aquí y todo eso, entonces sí, claro que sí, claro que sí, claro. Sir, after learning Spanish for 1 year, you went from zero to B2 advanced intermediate Spanish. Can you tell me, sir? Thank you. Pure heart, it's just practice, man. If you or lady, I'm not young lady, I'm not apologize. Well, just practice, just practice. I don't know. Yeah, just check out my other videos. I explain everything that I did, but it's just practicing and I don't even like saying super dedication because I was not sitting here every day addicted to Spanish and consumed completely by Spanish. But it's just I just prioritized, I try to prioritize an hour a day, and I still try to do that to help me grow. Dope. I'm not even learning Spanish, but I love your stuff. Wow, Seaball. And when people send me comments like that, it's super like just humbling. Like I can't even believe. Honestly, I can't believe it. Like now it's the reality. But if you had told me 2 years ago, like I'd be making YouTube videos where somebody that's not even learning Spanish would enjoy my content, I wouldn't have believed you. So I appreciate that, honestly, Seaballs. Thank you so much. All right, guys, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. I'm gonna give it 4 more minutes max. If anybody has any final questions, let me know. If not, I think I rambled enough. I'm sure you all are tired of hearing me. Hopefully, those of you that came in late can get some value from the stuff that we talked about in the beginning. We talked about a lot, but yeah, we talked about my experience traveling, my plans for traveling in the future, Spanish questions, time I felt like I almost got robbed. So everything. Your determination is incredible. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Hope to be at your level in 5 years. No, no, Amy. It won't take that long. It won't take that long. Just I know, it's just a time thing. It's just we all have obligations and time commitments, but as you can see, I'm not like some super intelligent person. I'm just like it's just using the resources and practicing. So I appreciate that though. Honestly, like comments like that like make my day and they motivate me even more. It's like when I'm feeling lazy, I'm like, I can't justify those comments if I'm being lazy. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the sharing of your journey, especially how you had lots more to your life than just Spanish. Thanks for yeah, smart strength. I appreciate that. First off, honestly, I really appreciate that. And I've noticed that in my channel too. Like I think it's changed just from just Spanish. It's a little bit about my like I think you can see from my progress videos, like my mentality is changing over time. From like in the beginning, it was just like, let me just learn this language, and then because I can't lie to you and just say I had some profound, deep interest in exploring new cultures and all that at first, it was practically like it was literally the language, and over time it's developed and morphed into a love for new cultures and exploring. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that smart string so much. Honestly, like it's humbling comments like that. ¿Qué parte del español te resulta o resulta más difícil? Julian, ¿sabes qué es? Ahora no es lo más difícil, pero antes, y me acuerdo, o sea, pasando días, pasaron muchos días donde pensé como nunca voy a lograr entender esto. No sé los nombres de cosas gramaticales ahora, desafortunadamente, pero es esto, como si te digo, como le voy a decir a él. Es como, yo quería decir, voy a decir a él, o como voy a dar, es como que voy a dar el lápiz a ti. Quería hablar así porque es como se habla en inglés, como hablamos en inglés, como I'm going to give the pencil to you, es como hablamos. Pero en español es como tienes que decir a quién vas a dar el verbo o como la acción o la cosa antes de que digas la oración. Entonces, eso me confundía, o sea, mucho. Me costaba entender eso. Entonces, gracias a Dios pude lograr entenderlo, pero fue muy difícil. Recuerdo pensando como yo nunca voy a poder entender eso, porque no es la estructura del inglés, no es completamente al revés en inglés. Entonces, eso fue lo más difícil. No fue el subjuntivo ni nada de eso, no las conjugaciones, ni el hecho de que hay casi 30 formas de cada verbo, no, eso no fue la cosa más difícil, fue eso. Creo que se llama en inglés como subject, no te puedo decir, no sé los nombres, desafortunadamente, no aprendo el idioma así. Appreciate you and your content here. Many thanks. Thank you, Helmet Chili. What is your number one recommended tip for Spanish learning now that you're conversationally fluent? Carlito, it's a mix of reading and having those conversations and listening. And I know it's like, what? That's the most generic answer, but literally, if I hadn't read, I would not have picked up on how the language is structured, how the conjugations work, what sounds normal. Like it's just the mix of reading, listening. Because once you listen, you understand. You start picking out words that you learn from reading, and then having the conversations and getting a quality tutor that can correct you. If the tutor does not correct you, again, if you see this, you all can't see it, but I have my phone in my hand. If the tutor is doing this, like, qué bueno, en serio, wow, en serio, acá es así, allá es así, ya. That right there, that can take your motivation. So just finding a quality tutor, reading consistently, and listening consistently. You're right. So that's why I would say Carlito. You're right. There's a hell of a lot more going outside of North America. Yeah, helmet chilling. It's unfortunate that when you tell people, they're like, "What? Why would you want to go out there? Why would you want to travel? Why would you want to do that?" It's unfortunate, but thanks for answering all our questions, Mike. Have a good night. Thank you, Alicia. You too. And again, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. I know I've been saying that for like an hour, but keep up the YouTube. We learned a lot from you. Incognito, I'm gonna keep it up. I promise you, I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna keep it up. Even if I have to like cut back on I'll lose money for it, but I genuinely like seeing you all's comments on that last video really has motivated me. So I enjoy helping you all. Because the thing is, I like just in life in general, I like making, an impact. I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but I do. And so I can practically see that with my tutoring students. Honestly, I was seeing it with YouTube, but I wasn't seeing it as much because, I only get but so many comments. But like this live, the last video when I was saying I'll be done has really motivated me to not give up. I'm realizing I'm making an impact here. Like some people saying like, I never thought that I could learn a language because I didn't see anybody, similar to me learning a language, or I never thought that I've never seen someone's progress month to month like that. And I am helping, you know what I mean? And so now that I realize that, for sure, I'll keep going, definitely. Have you ever thought of living with a target language? Can you do that, Tuscan Wonder? Let me know, please teach me. I'm green with all this stuff. Teach me how to do that. Not teach me literally, but like, where are some resources where I can go to find that? Could I just Google that? Could I just Google that and find that? Let me know. But I would love to do that. Yeah, I would love to do that. What I'm thinking about doing is there's the what is it called? I think it's called the Latin American Association of Atlanta. I'm thinking about volunteering there. Like they give out food, they like go do like they give out free tutor and they do stuff like that. And I think that would help me feel like I'm using the language a little bit more. So I'm considering that. Again, it's just the time thing with my tutoring. I think I'm going to cut back on that. The parents are going to hate me for it. Students are going to be upset, but I have to. Are you going to give away your current job if you're going to decide to move abroad and continue remotely? If I could, Bond, if I could right now, If my school said, "Hey, we have a remote position and you can live anywhere in the world," I'm gone. I promise you, I'm gone. I promise I'm gone. Because at that point, I could lower my bills and still pay my mortgage here, and it'd be fine. Like I would be gone. I would promise you, I would be gone at the end of the school year. I would be in another country in June, like living there. But I doubt they're giving that option in my county where I live in. And none of them, like a lot of the metro Atlanta counties, and again, I'm certified in Georgia, and the counties that pay the most are in Metro Atlanta. A lot of these counties are not going to pay for that. So yeah, but I would definitely go to different Spanish-speaking countries and do vids. Your channel will blow up like Laos. Yeah, facts. I plan on doing that. It's just I'm in between a rock and a hard place because I actually like my job. I like the life that I'm living, but so I have to like balance. I'm trying to balance both of them with YouTube and that, but I'm finding it difficult. I go to Spanish neighborhoods in the US and do videos. I've tried that. Facts actually today. If you watch the playback, I went to those of us that live in Atlanta, they commented Gwinnett County, like Southern Gwinnett County, has a large Latin population. I went there earlier, but it's a little difficult. So people from New York were commenting on how it's a little difficult in Metro Atlanta to get people to be open to practicing with you because I don't know. We could debate why. I don't know if it's viewed as an insult, like they don't speak English or what, but it's a little difficult here in Atlanta. If I was in LA or New York, I think it'd be different, or Miami or somewhere like that. It might be different. Hey, Mike, really like your channel. It's very much inspiring. Thank you. Thank you. YXEZZ, thank you so much. OMG, yes, those direct object programs, those were the hardest. Then one day, months later, I noticed I was just doing it automatically. Yeah, what's good English? It clicks. It clicks. Like it clicks. It just clicks. Like your brain, it's like a kid, man. It's like after you do it a while, it just clicks. I agree 100%. Es buen cosa ver otro hermano aprendiendo español. Lindsay, estoy de acuerdo, estoy de acuerdo. Yo buscaba lo mismo cuando empecé y no pude encontrar a nadie, entonces estoy muy feliz que te puedo servir así. Entonces, muchísimas gracias por mandarme ese mensaje. Man, I'm trying to leave super Seabold. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm glad I'm not the only one. My fear, Seabold, is that I don't want to be this person that like learns something new and then just thinks that the grass is completely greener. I'm trying to keep a level head and be balanced. But I think it's gonna hurt me to just stay and keep living, keep living. And again, there's nothing wrong per se, but it's just like I'm seeing some things like with foresight that I'm seeing that are not going to end well if the United States keeps continuing in the way that it's going. And again, economically is not what I'm referring to. I'm talking culture and just like a lot of things we could touch. I don't want to insult, my mis paisanos. Yo, bro, saludos desde México. Muchísimas gracias, hermano, the D2Q. O sea, I appreciate that. Me encanta tus videos. Muchísimas gracias. A beautiful life. O sea, estos comentarios me ayudan un montón, en serio. Anthony, any book recommendations for writing practice? I'm already done with Madrigals. Yes, I have them here. I've been showing them off. This one depends on your Spanish level, but this one's intermediate Spanish grammar. I actually did this entire book, so I've done that. And then no nonsense Spanish workbook. I was recommending this. Some of this is like kind of nonsense. Ironically, it's called no nonsense, but some of this is nonsense. But so this helps. So you can use those. You're totally making an impact, Lori. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but now I do, and it really makes me want to take this channel a lot more seriously. So yeah, I appreciate that. Do you have a DELE certificate? No, but I'm getting certified to teach ESOL right now. Lindsay, me lo das del fuerte aprender el español. Sí, pero te va a servir. Te vas a estar feliz cuando lo logres. To see you leave YouTube. Sean, if you go back and watch the beginning, I'm not leaving YouTube. I was considering it simply because I wasn't sure if I was helping and I was running out of ideas. And like I said, I didn't start YouTube with the intent to be a YouTuber, but I'm going to continue. If you watch the playback, you'll see the comments and my change of heart. But listen to Kieran Ball in less than 44. Man, Sean, Kieran Ball, that's clutch, isn't it? Man, I think came in clutch for me. My sister lives in Canton. Had a ton of ESL students at her school. Yeah, see, Ball. I have a friend that lives in Canton. I visit Canton a lot. I like it up there. What's up, Wes? Wes, I haven't commented, man, but your last two videos are really telling. And if you watch my last video, it really influenced my last video. A lot of the things that you're describing, I'm feeling right now. And I know it's a different city, but I'm feeling exactly what you're describing. And so, yeah, I think it's time. My only dilemma, Wes, with Colombia right now, and we've talked about this, is that I think a lot of I don't want to say Americans, but United States guys in particular, and it's not just my opinion. I'm talking my Colombian tutors have told me this. They're ruining the reputation there. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, and you know what I'm referring to, right? Certain kind of tourism and all that kind of stuff. They're going down there ruining the reputation, and I just prefer to not follow that reputation. So, because again, you can get lumped in with anybody, and again, I know it's not like you shouldn't live that way, but I just don't like that. Like, it puts a bad taste in my mouth because I really want to isolate myself from that whole that whole movement, that whole wave, because that's not the kind of life I'm living. Wes, honestly, what I plan on doing is following what you're doing. I used to be of the mindset like I plan on waiting for like family and all that kind of stuff, but there's no need to wait too long. So I'm considering making the same move for similar reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see. Y te voy a hablar en español en caso que alguien, que un familiar mío escucha esto, ¿no? Pero ya cuando se trata de las relaciones y no sé, de la cultura acá, no sé, creo que me va a servir en otro país, pero ya sabes eso, ya hablaste de todo eso en tus videos, entonces me han ayudado un montón, en serio, en serio, en serio, pues, en serio. Esta mañana estaba binge watching, o sea, tus videos casi 3 veces para, o sea, analizar cada punto y todo. If you had 2 months off without anything to do but learn Spanish, with $500 to spend on Spanish lessons and full availability study, what would you do to learn fast? Rose, I'm going to buy a Spanish book that has Spanish exercises, not a lot of grammar, like explanations, but just exercises. I'm going to have a lesson or two, no, 2 to 3 lessons per week, a cheap tutor. If I don't know if you included traveling at all, but if I could travel, I would do that and put myself in an environment where I have to use the language. But that's it, nothing crazy. I mean, just if I could dedicate, and possibly enroll myself in a language school, possibly if I had the time for that. For anybody who's never traveled to a Spanish-speaking country, I encourage you to try Puerto Rico first because it's U.S. territory. You don't need a passport. And use U.S. currency. Yes, and best because you're living there or about to move there, so you know. Um, I've been to Puerto Rico, but qué pena que I didn't actually speak Spanish when I went. Hey, are you leaving the U.S.? Where are you going? Also, did you still recommend italki for tutor? Yeah, HR certs. I do recommend italki. It's not clickbait. I'm not leaving just yet. I'm considering it. But I don't know. I'm considering it. I just have to make sure everything's in alignment. But right now, I'll be here, and I'm not gonna stop making videos. Been to Costa Rica twice. Man, that country is nice. Yes, Sid, I hear Costa Rica's very nice. You're expensive, but very nice. And I have a tutor from Costa Rica. I like him a lot. He's good vibes. So I'm shocked that you didn't know you making an impact. Honestly, I've been practicing for 8 months. Yeah, Anthony, I know it sounds bad, but like I really did not know. Like I really just thought like, yeah, people are enjoying my videos for entertainment. But like when I hear comments from somebody in India saying like, dude, you've changed my life. Like I met my Puerto Rican wife. I'm Indian, and like now we have a family all because of your video. It's like what? Like really? Like really? Like I just literally started taking. I took my iPhone out and started recording myself, and it's ended up impacting someone in India to the point where they have a family now because I inspired them in a video. So yeah, that's that's I just was unaware of all the stories behind all the comments, and so I'm not gonna stop. Even if I have to sacrifice my like my pride or my nervousness to go up to talk to people in public, I'm gonna sacrifice that now that I know so many of you are benefiting from the videos. But I recommend going to a small city. Yeah, true, West, true, West, true, very true, very true. I plan on coming back. I really had a good experience in Peru, though, honestly. And so I want to go back to Peru in May, I think, and visit Panama because I have a goal west of visiting every Spanish speaking country. So that's something I want to check off. But definitely, I definitely want to go back. I'm gonna get to you, Justin, in a second. You help a lot. You sure do inspire with your videos. So keep it up, man. Bones, I appreciate that. I appreciate that because you can handle your Spanish. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pues, ya, sí es verdad, desafortunadamente. Y Wes, ya te dije, ¿no? Cuando salí del aeropuerto de Cartagena, o sea, me dio mucha vergüenza esa pregunta, pero no puedo culpar a ellos porque hacemos eso, desafortunadamente, viajamos ahí por eso. Entonces, es una pena, es una pena. Y me parece asqueroso, ¿no? Como que quiero quitarme de ese estereotipo, todo eso. Entonces, por eso, no sé, no sé. Can you do a video about how you learn how to show your R's? Lori, I mentioned it earlier. Wait, sorry, most of us, yes, some of our fellow Americans are active here. Most of us, tú sabes, you know what's going on. You know what's going on, okay? Because unfortunately, there's an overlap with like regular travel YouTube and that form of travel YouTube. And a lot of the stuff that's happening is coming out. And again, when I see it, I'm not judging anybody, but it's just not me. Like I can't even act like that's me. So yeah, I trato de enlargarme de eso. Um, Hey, Mike, you're an inspiration. Wait. Can you do a video about how to roll? Lori, I can. The only thing is, I don't know if I'd be able to teach it well. And the reason why is because just por suerte, like, luckily, when I was a kid, I used to like bother my brother and my parents by like sitting in the back of the car, just going like "Grrr," doing that. And so it never has been a problem for me, but I can consider that and I can think about it and come up with an idea of how to help you out with that. Hey, Mike, you're an inspiration. I was in the military and deployed to Honduras for 6 months. Have you considered going? Johnny, that's a good point. I watch a YouTuber called JC Max. There's a guy named JC Max. I watch a lot of travel YouTube, right? Guy named JC Max, and he travels all throughout El Salvador and Honduras, and it's very interesting his experiences there, and it makes me want to go there. Like, because they don't get a lot of tourists, it's like the I like that, you know what I mean? Because they want to know about where you're from in the United States. And a lot of them have family members in the United States, so I definitely want to go. And I've seen that the naturaleza, the nature out there is amazing. So yeah, I definitely want to go there. JB, I need you to get on your Spanish studies, man. So I appreciate you telling me I'm an inspiration, but I need you on your Spanish studies as well, so we can take a trip together. Even though I know you don't like to travel internationally. Um, Muchas gracias, Wes. Y se trata de lo que tú estás haciendo allá. Es parecido a lo que quiero hacer. Stay humble. This live session should give you more material content for more videos. Yes, Sean, I'm going to go back and watch this probably tonight or tomorrow morning. I have to go to it's part of Georgia called Jasper, Georgia. I have to go out there. So when I'm driving, I'll re-listen to this and kind of note some things down with a little in my phone. You got to go to visit Dominican Republic. See, Boogie, I definitely want to go there. But what I was mentioning to Wes, unfortunately, is happening there too. Like, a lot of Americans are going down there for nefarious reasons. Again, that shouldn't influence my travels because I know I'm not going down there for that. But it's just like right now, I like to explore places that are like maybe popular in terms of a touristic perspective, but not for that reason, that kind of tourism. And again, nothing bad towards Dominican Republic. I definitely want to go because I consume a lot of content about that country, and I've learned a lot about the history, and I'm very familiar with the accent and the slang there and the music and all that. So I definitely have an interest in going there, but just right now, it's kind of hot, for lack of a better way of describing it. Like, it's kind of a lot of people there right now. So, ¿has pensado en mudarte a un lugar lleno de hispanohablantes en Estados Unidos como Miami, o es que tienes otras razones para salir del país? Dapes. Sí, lo he considerado eso, pero ¿sabes qué? Creo que la cultura acá es tan profunda que hace que todo el mundo cambie un poco cuando llegue. O sea, entonces, cuando se trata de la cultura, sí hay una cultura muy poderosa allá en Miami y en otras partes del país, y hay en Atlanta también, pero creo que am, el país nos toca cambiar un poco, o sea, las costumbres y todo eso por la necesidad de trabajar y, como dicen en México, como perseguir la chuleta, y todo eso es como hace que sea muy difícil mantener las costumbres en los países. Entonces, sí, sí, y tengo otras razones para salir del país, pero sí, y sabes que en particular Miami es muy costosa, es una ciudad muy costosa. Ya vivo en una ciudad media costosa, ¿no? Entonces, para mí será como muy difícil mudarme allí. En Texas, digamos, sí, pero Texas para mí no es muy diferente a donde vivo yo, entonces sí. Would you share your tutors yet, Jaina? I can. Right now, I don't have their links, but you check out my video titled "How to Learn Spanish in a Year." I put them in there. You don't have to even watch the video, but if you just click the description, you'll see their links. How many hours did you study Spanish today when you started? Hustle Vision, 1 hour max, like 1 hour. The rest of the time was just spent listening and like stuff like that. Like, you're truly a living experience. You speak Spanish very well. First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like, honestly, like, I'm saying it like it's like suave, but like, I really appreciate that. Honestly, like, I really do. I really do. I couldn't have believed 2 years ago that I would be responding to comments like that, reading them, responding to them, understanding everything. I really can. Mike, are you truly okay? ¿Qué tipo de acento aprendiste del español? Brando ya mencionaba que yo trato de no enfocarme en hablar de una forma en particular. Trato de hablar en español neutro. ¿Por qué? Porque me parece inauténtico, digamos, si yo trato de utilizar o trato de sonar como si fuera de otro país, ¿no? Entonces, para mí es normal hablar normal. Si estoy hablando con alguien digamos, de Colombia, yo no, ahora no puedo hablar en español, pero usaría como, no parece, perdón, como bacano o una palabra así, pero no, normal, creo yo. Yeah, being lumped with a crowd isn't always a good thing, even if you're not involved. For exactly him, helmet. Exactly, that's the problem with some countries right now. It's like I prefer to just like stay away for right now. Stay away. No, just personally. San Antonio is cool. Me and my wife were just there, and a lot of people speak Spanish there. I had a chance to use Spanish with someone. Okay, I'll check out San Antonio. And even before I learned Spanish, I was always interested in San Antonio. Really, for I grew up loving basketball, so the Spurs interested me in that city. But and then I started learning about San Antonio in general, and it interested me a little bit. Okay, do you tutor Spanish, Lloyd? Right now, no. In the future, quizás, maybe, but right now, no. Jana, thank you so much. And with that last comment, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. I've been on for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I appreciate you all, honestly, I really do. Um, Again, I can't even believe that I've gotten this many comments. I really, when I started, thought that you're welcome, guys. When I started this, I thought that I'd be sitting here for like 5 minutes waiting for just one or two people to show up. So I really appreciate you all showing up. Seaballs, yep, Tim Duncan's one of my favorite players, Mr. Fundamental. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I hope you have a great night. I'll try to do a live within the next month, 2 months, a couple of weeks, and I promise I'll be more dedicated with videos. Now that I understand that it's helping so much, I'll definitely be more active. I appreciate it again, guys, and que tengan una buena noche. Ciao. Igualmente. Ciao, ciao, ciao.